Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 250. We got some fun stuff to go over here tonight. We are 250. We're a nice little milestone there. Nice round number at the end there. We have Sean watching the Knicks game, so he's just probably randomly going to pop in like 45 minutes or something. All right, so just keep that in mind. Well, it depends on how the Knicks game is going. Last I checked, they were winning, so he might be in a good mood. Let's go around here, though. We have Max. Well, actually, Max showing off his new PC there, too, with the nice neon background in the city.
There's like this Discord logo floating that's so cool. And also I'm an NFT now, apparently, against my will.
Oh, all right then.
I'll take 10.
We have Jordan Fringe. Jordan, how we doing?
Glad to be here. I am not an NFT yet, but you know, there's still time that someone might make an NFT of my face, so that's cool.
We do have a Pokemon topic tonight too, Jordan. So
exciting! I heard it says controversy on the title. I don't even
controversy. Who would have thought Pokemon and controversy?
That's crazy. It only helps to sell more.
Wow,
30 million copies sold, baby.
It'd be weird if there wasn't a controversy for Pokemon.
Make it 40.
That's one of the best-selling game series that the fans just seem to hate.
Are they the fans?
I mean, they make a lot of noise, like the fans on there.
Well, it's like
I hate this. I also bought 10 copies of it. I also bought. I'm streaming it, and I bought another copy for a friend, and I bought one for my nephew. But damn it, I hate it.
It's an 8 scale, you know. I hate this game. 9 out of 10.
Right? Fans. It's like I hate this game. I put 400 hours into it. Dislike. Reviews.
Me and MVG when it comes to Assassin's Creed.
We got OJ Player Essence here with us. OJ, how we doing?
What's up? Good to be here. Had a nice Spawncast pre-show. Shout out to everybody who came out to the pre-show. It was fun. We talked about Breath of the Wild. We talked about NFTs. We talked about lots of stuff. So shout out to
If you're looking to kind of hang out before the show, OJ usually has a whole pre-show going on his channel over there. We got that down in the description. So if you want to get that subscription in and get that notified, so you can jump on there ahead of time, do that, and then he just jumps over here with us. So
it's fun. Today was fun.
It's a good
Click
time.
Also streams before too sometimes as well.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, check out Miss Click too. Miss Click, how we doing?
Good. It's great. Yeah, if you want to come to my stream because you want to talk trash about OJ, come to my side.
Which people would do that. So I mean,
we got some lights going on in the background. Don't come to my chat and
be like, "Is OJ gonna be on the Spawncast?" I'm like, "Nah, bruh, pay up. You pay me, you're paying him. You ain't getting around for a free answer." They're coming in my chat asking if you are, and I'm like, "How am I supposed to know?"
We got going on. We've got the lights going on back there. Click. You got one like at a right angle.
They're doing things. So, yeah. They're cool. I got this also like picture frame thing, like it's a moving picture frame. It's pretty.
Is that
cool,
an NFT right there?
Yeah,
is that a link NFT?
Looks like it.
It's an NFT.
It's the price of a bored ape.
With the house, the entire house. MVG, how are we doing over there?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on as always. And fuck NFTs.
Hell
yeah!
It's already past a minute, right? We can say that.
Is that a?
Yeah.
I have an intro.
That's why there's a 5-minute pre-show.
No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Meta.
We just expect Sean to jump in here and just ruin everything in the first minute.
I thought you and Troy Baker were boys, though. Now you're saying this. I mean, this is difficult. This is difficult to process right now.
Well, Troy had a major backpedal today on Twitter. Did you see that? Where he was like, "I'm just a simple man, and you know, sometimes I just you know, sometimes I just think with my heart and not with my head."
Simple man.
I hate that he's like, I'm just trying I'm a storyteller, guys. I just want to be a storyteller. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Your bank account trying to tell a story. That's what's going
right.
on.
The weirdest issue for me was the project that he was backing. Like, you're backing something that was directly going to take your job out, which was very interesting to me. Like, it'd be different. He's like, "Oh, I got a bored ape. Okay, who cares?" Right? But you got something that is very much like anti what you do. And in fact, that wasn't that place like really sketchy? Didn't they even steal their own technology?
Yeah,
that's my whole video today.
Yeah,
somebody made an NFT of me. Like all this stuff is one big scam. Every bit of it, every part of it.
And we have Evan here. Evan, how we doing?
All right.
Good to have Evan. Good. Okay, so we got the Pokemon stuff to go over. We got the PlayStation 4, which lives on, but the Xbox One is actually done and out now. So we'll be talking about some cross-gen stuff, I'm sure, as well. Evan, You want to start us with a Discord question over there?
You jokingly brought up Quest 64 being remade last cast, but everyone forgets Ogre Battle 64. Where's the love for this game?
I mean, yeah, bring that one in. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what's going to happen. Quest 64 is somehow going to end up on that service before Ogre Battle, when it should be the other way around.
That'd be very disappointing.
It will be.
I love it. That was my last game I needed for my Nintendo 64 collection was Ogre Battle.
So
Good game. It was
like
actually
15 games there, Dreamcast.
Yeah. Well, unironically, yes. I just chose like the 15 I wanted to beat as a kid that I couldn't, and I tracked all those down. So that was the last one I had to try and find.
It would. Yeah, that was a surprising game to see show up on the Nintendo 64 because there was no RPGs on the system, and then all of a sudden that shows up, and it's a good one, certainly. Got another one there, Evan?
64 is an RPG.
Oh gosh.
Last week there was a question about someone selling all of their physical Switch games to buy digital and wondering if it was a good idea. The reasoning the person had was that most games require day one updates, DLC, and all that. So he's wondering what the point was of keeping the physical over just going digital for the benefit of being able to just go anywhere and have it all, I guess, on your system.
That's what you're at the way, because some people are like, I just travel with my Switch. It's a handheld system, and I don't want to lug around potentially 20 games. I can understand that, especially since now Nintendo has their account system that your stuff gets tied to.
I get that, but Xenoblade's still worth what it's worth, even though there's a hella updates for it. But there's patches all over that game, but you can still get a good price for the game.
I'll tell you, the games that I've shied away from buying physically anymore are the ones that are like, you have to download like half the game with the blue banner on the front. I've kind of shied away from that because I'm like, I don't really like, if it's like Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection is coming up. They only have Assassin's Creed 2 on the cart. You got to download the other ones. And I'm like, that seems weird. I don't know.
Or you pay it for it's like cheap, like it's like $10 or something. Maybe I'll pick it up. But like, if it's just like an update or whatever, that could still have value.
Like you know that Grand Theft Auto trilogy is going to come out on the Switch physically, and it's going to have like GTA 3 on it, and that's it. And you have to download San Andreas and like Vice City, and it's like, why they wouldn't? So that's kind of the one where I'm like, I'll just get it digitally because
I'm wondering if we'll ever see that GTA trilogy physical.
It's physically out now on the Xbox and the PlayStation, but we have not seen it for the Switch. And they said sometime this year, and
so like
I don't know.
I had a pre-order for it.
That thing's getting refunded.
I don't know when it's coming out. I mean, I want them to fix it before it comes out. Don't get me wrong. I'd love them to actually patch it, make it work. But I couldn't tell you when to expect that physical version and what's going to be on the cartridge.
That's going to be that's going to be because I would like to think that they go back to the drawing board and say, you know what, we messed this up. Let's just put everything on that cartridge and call it a day. Let's just do it.
That costs money. They're not going to do that.
Right. I know Rockstar. I mean, if there's one company that is in trouble for money, it's definitely Rockstar and Take-Two.
Yeah, cheapest billionaires in the business.
Yeah, they bought 12. They made the largest transaction for a company in gaming at 12.7 billion, but they're not gonna touch those 32 gigabyte carts. I'm saying. Evan, we got another Discord question. I think we're gonna go right into Pokemon Arceus. Actually,
has there been any update on when Gotham Knights might be released this year?
Dude, I thought it was going to be out before the next E3. I might be right because there might not be an next E3, but I was thinking first half of this year because I thought they would want to have a big marketing push for Kill the Justice League. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was supposed to already be out. It was supposed to come out last year. So I'm still thinking first half of this year, and they'll just drop a release date, or they'll try to find their way into like a state of play or something. Is my thought there. So I'm hopeful. Because I am in the mood to play another Batman game. I went and started playing Arkham Knight again recently, just because I want to play another Batman game. So I'm on board for that day one when it drops.
Like co-op? It's gonna have online co-op, right? I think so, right?
Yeah, if we're around it, we can jump in. I think you can just jump in on the fly, right, and go through different missions, then jump out. That's the thing I'm curious about is the progress. How that?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. That makes me a little nervous, not a lot.
I was watching some of the co-op videos. It kind of seems like it's going to be open world, but we're going to be sort of tethered together, and then the co-op's mostly built for when you go into one of the enemy bases. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for that game.
Let's talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus here for a minute. So there was we had a new gameplay trailer. First of all, Jordan, as the resident Pokemon fan, what did you think of that trailer?
Good. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm excited. I'm still very much reserved on it. I don't know if this is going to be. It's either going to be really great and they pulled it off, or it's going to fall closer to that. Well, it's janky, but it's fine. Yeah,
we should get reviews in like a week and a half. I assume 3 to 4 days before the game comes out, the reviews drop. So, I mean, the gameplay elements they showed. The one thing that was a little weird to me was the one boss battle they were showing off. Because it looked like you were just throwing fruit at it over and over again.
Yeah.
But then it would stop and you go into a battle, mess it up a bit, then go back to throwing fruit. So that was that encounter, and then the one sub quest they showed was just you catching a Pokemon and then bringing it back and showing it to them, and it was like, all right, cool. And I didn't know if they were a tie story into it or something, but that was kind of it.
Didn't they say you catch multiple of the same Pokemon for quests or something, where it's like you get 3 Bidoofs and there's the Bidoof quest? I don't know. It seems weird.
I like they showed off the overall gameplay, the loop that you're mostly going to be doing, which is catching Pokemon, but the idea of it being kind of like a Monster Hunter Pokemon is at least a cool idea. So
yeah, kind of. It's weird, right? Because like you have these Pokemon that just they're angry and they attack you, right?
Yes.
And it seems like they wanted to have like those moments, like in Breath of the Wild, where you're just walking and you stumble across some big giant that just comes out of nowhere, some big scary boss that's gonna like, oh no, I shouldn't be here, and it's tough, but like you're not Link, you don't fight back, so you just kind of dodge and throw a couple things, or have a Pokemon come out and do some attacks. I don't know. It seems like they have so many ideas, and I really am curious to see how it's going to feel in execution, because that's what I'm really worried about. I don't know how it's really going to feel when you're playing it in the moment. So.
I like the idea of though being out in the field and you just throw a Pokeball at something. If you catch it, your Pokemon gain experience, and it's like this whole big thing. They have a little firework that shoots off from the Pokeball.
That's cool because that's what we've wanted forever. We wanted to see what that would look like.
Yep.
And that aspect, it's fantastic. It's the other parts of the gameplay, the battling system and other stuff that I'm more weary on. So
okay, what everyone else think? How are we feeling about Pokemon Legends Arceus like 2 weeks out from release?
Feel good. I think graphically, there's been some.
Oh, we're about to get to that.
With graphics, but I think everything looks good. Like I don't have a I mean, we'll talk about the graphics, but like I think the total package looks really good, and I think Jordan brings up a good point that it could be really awesome, or it could be kind of they tried. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a really good game. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be great.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a Pokemon hater. I feel like the last couple of years, I just have not liked Pokemon. So I'm just glad something's different. Like, to me, I'm kind of glad that it's more exploration focused and stuff. I'm curious, but it looks like my cup of tea.
Yeah, we'll talk about the graphics like what MVG said, but I mean, I agree on the general part, but I think that the game also, people talk about Breath of the Wild, but if you played Xenoblade, that is very much like a Xenoblade type of thing, like where you just have alphas, right? That's ripped from Xeno.
The level, like the level 90 or level 80 enemies that are massive.
There, that's like a Xenoblade thing, not necessarily a Zelda thing. So that's kind of just taken from Xenoblade. With the combat system, I think that you can do some things in the game from like an RPG standpoint, like the strong style and agile style that doesn't work in multiplayer. So that's what it has going for it. Because in a multiplayer, normal, like if it's like regular multiplayer battles, you can't do stuff like that, or you can, but you have to completely change the battle system because now you have Pokemon going multiple times in a row, stuff like that, right? So I do like that they've tuned it for a single player experience because there is no multiplayer in this game. It's just single player. So they have to make things harder. They have to make it to where you have these alpha Pokemon, to where you have these different type of boss battles. But one thing with the boss battle, which I am kind of concerned too about throwing the fruit, but like they didn't show the ending of it. So I'm guessing there's other type of phases with boss battles, and I'm guessing there's other things with it because they completely cut out and they did not show the ending of the noble battle. They call it a noble battle. The alpha Pokemon, you can catch those. So I like that type of stuff. I really like when you can go out there and fight really strong, Pokemon, because this game would be bad. I think this would be flat out almost bad if there wasn't some difficulty to it, because there is no multiplayer, because usually that's where you get your difficulty from. It's like being the best trainer in the world going online. You get cooked online, right? So in this one, you can't go online. So I'm glad. I like what they've done there. I do have some reservations about, like I said, we'll talk about the graphics and stuff like that. But when it comes to the gameplay and from an RPG standpoint, it looks extremely solid in terms of the strong style, agile style, and what they're doing with that. And the classic Pokemon gameplay, plus also the action elements combined with it. I like that more than just Pokemon battle, because before there was no action elements, there wasn't anything, it was just you just do the Pokemon battle. So I like that they're incorporating the trainer, because remember, this is like before Pokemon and people lived together, so they don't have that relationship that Pokemon have with people beforehand. This is before that, so you're actually like a trailblazer for that, actually having Pokemon living with people and becoming a trainer. So I like that aspect about the game.
Yeah, I was Jordan. Let me ask you this: there are reservations within the Pokemon community there because of the changes. Because when I brought it up a long time ago, I said they should just change everything, the whole thing. People were not happy with me. Well, so then I said it again just to make sure everyone heard me.
Well, as one would do. They really didn't change everything. Like it's still a Pokemon battle when you're battling with a couple tweaks. The storyline is like it's a lot of beats that are still Pokemon, and it's still very close to the vest that it still feels like Pokemon. It's not having that moment where it's like, oh, they completely changed everything. It's just taking the formula that's worked for so long and experimenting a little bit. And I think would have, for some reason in my head, like when I see this type of gameplay, when you're dodging these Pokemon, but then still sending out a Pokemon to do attacks and you're just kind of running around, I just can't help but wonder, because like you go back to this time when we're not like co-living with Pokemon properly like we do in modern era Pokemon. Why can't it be like the Monster Hunter style? Why can't I as the character just go and punch the Ursaring? Like that'd be like, you're not killing them, you're just knocking them out to capture them or something. Like that's your goal, is to weaken them to capture them, to calm them down. Like that would have been fun.
I did buy Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
I play. Did you pick it up? You picked it up too.
Yeah.
You got the double pack, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I'm almost done the game. I'm like the 8th gym. I'm at like last gym, and then I'm like, onto the what do they got now? Like the final trainer run that you do to beat the whole game, Become the Master. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot of just pressing A. And I've realized that now, playing back through the traditional Pokemon from back then.
That is Pokemon.
Yes, I am as confident as ever that it needed a kind of a shakeup here. So I am happy with them going in this direction to just do something new for Game Freak, like their A team.
Yeah, I'm still excited for it. To answer the wave of questions in the chat about can you romance Pokemon? No. I have several questions for many people in chat, but
don't even joke like that, guys.
I'm assuming
they mean breeding, right? They mean breeding Pokemon.
I don't want to speak for Game Freak, because I mean freaks in their title, so who knows? But
prostitution.
I would assume that definitely not that.
No.
Well,
okay, so the other thing that came up from Legends Arceus has to do with the visuals, the graphics. Yeah. It was very back and forth on this one, actually, to the point where Forbes even has an article up that says there's no excuse for Pokemon Legends Arceus looking this bad on Switch. Shout out to Paul Tassi, actually, for that article there, and that caused quite a reaction, a lot of conversation. Jordan, resident Pokemon fan, how you feel about the visuals of Pokemon Arceus?
They're fine. It's. I mean,
I'm old. I gotta get in touch with the community here through Jordan. Let me know. They
Jordan. Look fine. The things that are important look fine. Sure, could have looked better. What game can't? The Switch has its limitations. This would have worked better on a supposed get the rumor mill ready Switch Pro. Of course, it would have benefited from a little bit more hardware power. This is also Game Freak's first trying to do something really different. So if the graphics aren't there, but the game is there, and that's all good, then I'd be happy. Now, if both sides aren't there when it comes out, it's a little bit more of a problem. But I'm at that point with the graphics, especially when it comes to the Switch. Like, I'm already expecting it not to get to have certain issues like that, and it not really be important in any way. Like, we can all talk crap about, there's an N64 tree in Pokemon, but how did that ruin the game? Did it still make? Did it make it not?
It elevates the game.
You're emerging. You're
So that stuff, while I do expect more quality in in these games, and I don't think it's bad to want better for your franchises that you support. I don't care. It's just like another tired issue that doesn't do anything. It's not going to fixing a little graphic whatever they're talking, because the Pokemon look fine. The gameplay itself with the graphics looked fine. Like, what is the big controversy? What were they specifically pointing out that was
my thing with it is I think the environment looks very bland.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. I'm not expecting it to look like rolling fields and grass. Like it can't be.
Well, let me ask you this:
Legend of Zelda.
would you be okay if Breath of the Wild 2 looked like this?
No, of course not. It's the same thing. Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, Jordan.
No, you're fine.
Zelda's had a while to kind of evolve this world building and this atmosphere, right? Even if we go and look back at Twilight Princess HD, you know, like in comparison to Breath of the Wild, very different vibe. But to some people, like, it's still endearing and they still love it because it's a natural evolution over time. I think as long as I think for Pokemon, it's cool that they're trying new things. Because over time, sure, people might keep buying the same thing, but there are gonna be a lot of people that are kind of just gonna be like, it's the same thing over and over again. So I think as long as like the new chances that they take, they do well. I'm hoping that if they can establish new foundations and kind of broaden that base a little bit, then they can start building from the ground up. I think if they see that this formula or this kind of style can work, then they'll take riskier chances, hopefully. And then, you know, kind of see a natural evolution like we have with Zelda. So, you know, it's like going back from Ocarina of Time, people still love that game, you know, now to Breath of the Wild, and whatever Breath of the Wild 2 is going to hold, whether we're going to be in the same fields or not, you know, they're going to try new things. So with Pokemon, I'm glad they're finally making a new choice. I think with the first trailer they ever showed us, you know, it was like, wow, this is going to be like Breath of the Wild type scale. And obviously it's toned, you know, a little bit differently. You know, now we're thinking more Monster Hunter. I think that's still exciting because Monster Hunter has its own pool. But again, let's try new things. And if it does well and if people enjoy it, maybe next time we'll get trees that move, or maybe we'll actually get trees, you know, in a density that looks like a real forest.
They could do a GameCube tree. Might be the best-selling game then.
Yeah. You know, Fire Emblem Three Houses is still a great game, but the fruit stands.
It's always the fruit stand. First in Halo, now
the Halo fruit.
Halo,
stand.
and then
also,
gosh.
you know, it's all right. It's all right. The fruit stands, the trees, they don't make the actual
The
content,
Fire Emblem
you know?
fruit stand too. Fire Emblem Three Houses fruit. Did you guys see that?
Literally
one?
what I just said.
It looked like a bin of Trick cereal. That's what it looked like.
I didn't hear your voice is so high pitched. Like I thought you said something else. Honestly, I thought you said something else.
Your old man ears can't hear past a certain frequency.
That's true.
Anymore.
I am turning 50 this year, so that's true.
Congratulations,
Jordan,
man.
what were you trying to say, Jordan?
No, I just continuing clarifying what I was saying by that. Like when it comes to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, they've set the benchmark on that, right? This is what we expect from it. They take these long dev cycles to make these games, and they're familiar with the console platforms to do so. When it comes to Pokemon, they're still trying to figure out how to make console games, and I don't expect them from each game to have this incredible blow your mind jump. I would like to see that, but when it's not there, I'm not going like, oh, they've really let me down because their last game was at this level. When Legend of Zelda puts out a game at this level, I don't expect their next game to be so far down. But with Pokemon, it's only for up. Me, it's only going up.
Yeah.
So if Sword and Shield was like 10 out of 10, beautiful, they did everything right, and then we got Arceus, I'd be a little like, hey, what just happened here? And so this Game Freak does not. This is them really trying something different out of their wheelhouse. They know how to make Pokemon, a traditional Pokemon game. They do not know, and they have not had much experience doing anything but that. So this is a test. This is a complete experiment that if it works and it's great, this is the future of Pokemon. If it doesn't, boom, scrap. Gen 9's coming out later this year anyway. We're moving on.
You think that? You really think that? I think they're gonna do separate. I think they're gonna still do Gen 9 and do that, and then Legends is gonna be a separate thing.
You think it's gonna be its own thing?
Yeah, you think it's Let's Go at the end of this year?
No. It's a bit of both. I think that they'll take this style of the Legends and like this open world aspect, like the other features, and turn that into what the next generation will be. But if not, if this grand idea doesn't work, they'll still keep a few things. I would like to see more Pokemon and out in the wild, not just in the the certain zones like in Sword and Shield. But they won't keep the same formula if it doesn't work. They won't keep the battle style if it doesn't work. They won't keep the dodging Pokemon if it doesn't work. That's why it's a separate thing right now that they could incorporate later if they choose to do so.
I'm looking at the preview again. I think it's fine. Graphics. I literally have no issues with the graphics at all.
That's the camp I'm in.
Yeah,
it looks fine. I mean, at this point, I feel like my expectations when it comes to any Switch game is lower, of course. So I'm at this point where I watched the trailer twice, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it looks like a mildly crappy Switch game, but all right, as long as it's fun.
Do you think? All right, well, Jordan just stepped away. All right, so with Pokemon, I've thought about this a bit. Do you think that Pokemon itself is I played Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and it's a very easy game, and I'm going through it, and I'm kind of disappointed because it feels just really easy, and I'm realizing, man, I played these old more traditional Pokemon games, even from like Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, all these when I was a lot younger. I'm like, am I just like, I'm growing up, and I'm like, I want Pokemon to like basically come with me as I'm growing up. Yeah. And it's like, maybe that's where we are with, again, Jordan's not here, I want to ask him, with just the Pokemon community in general. The game itself was always really geared towards younger gamers or kids, and we all got old and we're like, I want this to be like an old game now.
To be honest, I think that applies to a lot of games nowadays. And I think it's hard, especially a lot of us grew up with our childhoods being part of certain games. There's a certain time where we have to realize it's not necessarily going to be targeted towards us anymore. And that kind of is a hard pill to swallow, because it's like, we're the ones that give you all this money to make it happen in the first place. It's like, well, technically it was our parents at one point, and then it was us. But like, I think there's probably like a balance where you create some games that still are true to the demographic that they should be for. And then maybe you branch out. Maybe Legends is kind of their way to maybe branch out and go for, like a broader range to where it can be more difficult. I think at a certain point, though, we have to realize that we're in unprecedented times when it comes to video games as a main source of entertainment and being one of the biggest industries in the world. And how we're going to gauge, is it just for kids now? Is it for everyone? Do we create the same game for everyone, or do we branch it off into different demographic focuses? It's a marketing nightmare if you're going to try to appeal to everyone, but it is doable. And I think that's why games like Breath of the Wild do so well, is because it just has that flexibility. Jordan's still not back, so
Pokemon's always it's all the single player Pokemon games. When you play through the campaign, it's always going to appeal to 10-year-olds. It's always just going to be, this is for 10-year-olds.
I gotta ask my nephew to trade back and forth so I can get my champ. So
it's just gonna be, and if you want to actually be part of that community that's for older people, that's going to be the online multiplayer. But not everybody has the time or wants to do that. That's my situation. I love Pokemon. That was my favorite situation. That was my favorite franchise growing up back in the day. But I don't have the time to be sitting there and playing it. So I've moved on to Persona. I've moved on to SMT. Those games are very Pokemon.
SMT is that's probably the
mature and all that. So, and that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be for everyone at every single point. If you want to get into multiplayer and that's your jam, then you're gonna play Pokemon. You're not gonna worry about the single player. Who gives a damn about that? That's how most Pokemon fans. That's how even back in the day, that's how I was, because I never felt that the single players were bad. They were never very good, in my opinion. They were always just mediocre, and it was all about playing your friends and beating that kid on the schoolyard or whatever the case is, right? So I think that to Click's point, I think that's the Legends is somewhat different, because they're trying to have like, okay, we have alpha Pokemon, we have these they're trying something to where it can appeal to more people and be more difficult. But the regular Pokemon games, in my opinion, are never going to really appeal to us, because they're going to hit that 10-year-old demographic. They're going to hit that, and anybody else who's above that, here's your multiplayer, then you can play, so
I will say only one more thing is, like, I think we still need to allow kids to be kids, because I think especially now during this day and age, like, it's a pretty heavy topic, but I feel like kids are kind of forced to grow up so fast because technology's grown up with us. It's kind of like been and grown and matured through us, to where now it's like kids are exposed to things, younger and younger. But I think it's still good that there are games still targeted towards letting kids be kids and experience things more on a level that's not forcing them to have to grow up too fast. It allows them, and it also gives some parents, peace of mind of being like, okay, like, I can literally trust this franchise to be
right on that, Click,
for my kids at their age.
Because in video games, I had to have the birds and the bees talk so much freaking earlier than I wanted to, because of video games.
Your daughter?
Yeah. That sucked.
So what did you play?
It's good that you have
everything has sex and violence in it. Even games for younger audiences do.
It's like, I started out real calm with Grand Theft Auto 5, like a normal parent would.
So Sean had brought up, this is I think a week or two ago, it was around the time, that the best looking Pokemon game he's seen recently is the new Pokemon Snap game.
Yeah.
That's on rails and all of that, so it's obviously different than what we see in the Pokemon games.
And not Game Freak.
Okay. Recently, they brought in Ilka to make brilliant time. And you know what? The visuals at first, people were making fun of them and stuff because it's like the chibi art stuff. I didn't really have any issue playing through it with that. It was perfectly fine. I thought I was like, all right, I understand what this is. That's fine. Going through it.
No, that team did a very good job on that.
But and I don't think I have to imagine their budget was a bit smaller than like they were hoping for. Anyway,
sure.
I do wonder if Game Freak had brought someone else in to even co-develop Arceus or Legends, if the game would look better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If Monolith Soft helped out, like they helped out with
Zelda. That's exactly what I was getting to. Is like Nintendo has a 30% stake in the Pokemon company, so I don't think they can necessarily push things around too much, other than hey, let's just keep it on the Switch or something, something like that, or phones. That's kind of what I'm getting, because they help with Breath of the Wild and all of that. I'm like, they know how to do it. So if they really wanted to, and I almost wonder if that's the next step, if Legends Arceus is actually a game that comes out, does well, they're only going to have one copy of the game selling. It's not going to be inflated from two copies. So we're going to know exactly how well it really sells.
Until a year later when we get Super Arceus or whatever.
Yeah, well, if it does well, though, then I almost wonder if that's the next step. Bring in a department of Monolith and let's go to the next level with it for the next Switch or something, years down the line.
A good evolution. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Never a bad thing to bring on talent to a project.
Nintendo's own teams might be already on that, since they already moved into Nintendo's building. Game Freak did, so they're like right next to them. So that might already be in the works for that. And then you combine that with the $1 billion investment back into game development Nintendo just talked about in their investor meeting. I'm guessing that's going to be one of the major areas that they go into, because they've already invested in Monolith Soft. They expanded that.
Monolith's busy though, aren't they? Right now they're doing Xenoblade. They're doing all sorts of stuff. But when Nintendo first got them, I think they had under like 60, 70 employees, maybe less than that. And now they have like almost 300. Now they're like 200, high 200s. So Nintendo's expanded that, and they have like 4 or 5 different studios across Japan. So I think that could be part of it. That's why Game Freak moved into the building. I was just surprised that they were like, yeah, Ilka can do this. That's fine. And I'm like, oh, well, hold on. Can we get other studios involved here too while we're at it? So, I mean, it'd be interesting to think about going forward if Legends Arceus works out. I think it's going to sell well. I think it'll come out and it's Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it's going to do well.
It has Pokemon in the name, so we already know it's going to sell well. It'd be weird if it didn't actually. I don't know if it's going to sell Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl levels, because that has 2 copies, but I think it'll do pretty well.
Well, we just need to set up a petition.
That's it. That's the one.
Boycott it.
Hey, that works, right?
Boycott petition, and we should get the numbers.
Yep, absolutely. That'll do it. Okay. Evan, do we have any Discord questions we go over?
What is your most controversial food opinion? Guessing this is related to the RGT conversation from.
I have an actual question. All meat is disgusting. Even as I eat it now, it's absolutely disgusting.
You still eat it though?
Oh yeah, I eat it, but it tastes terrible. If I wasn't trying to put on muscle, I would never eat it. All meat tastes like blood. I literally am like that. I hate it.
I have 0 issues with pineapple on pizza.
Same.
That's the traditional.
Drop it on there, no problem.
I'm really trying to think, but
well done. Or medium rare steak. People that eat blood steak, Castlevania steak. I hate that. Oh, like it's all red in the center.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, we've already had this discussion where
are you steak shaming?
Your Castlevania blood pumping steak, your Dracula blood. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. It's disgusting.
No.
It's disgusting.
No,
you should not eat. It's red. It's red.
Excuse me.
It's red.
Yeah, that's free ketchup. Anyway, I'll retroactively go to a drink related thing. I famously on this podcast slandered eggnog, and I had a whole thing in my my Christmas content about me going to drink eggnog, and I can officially say,
tell me how good it is.
As an adult, it's all right.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go.
But the last time I had it before this moment, when I was a kid, and I hated it. So it's been a long time, and you know what? It was all right.
It's disgusting. Nope, not going. Nope,
definitely not the best, but it's very all right. It's very passable.
Give me Diet Sunkiss any day. That's my holiday drink.
All right. What else got, Evan?
MVG question: would you consider making a channel or series about game development for current aspiring devs like myself or others?
You know, I have thought about a second channel. It's really just about finding the time, but I have some ideas about something along those lines. So just keep following me. Maybe we'll do something.
Okay, cool. You did one for the Game Boy. I thought it was pretty interesting. So that'd be cool.
Yep.
Sounds like a lot of work.
You know, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I only have so much time in a week. Yeah. But, I do want, like, I'm seeing people doing second channels and stuff, and I kind of want to get in on that as well. So I may set up a second channel and do something along those lines. Be kind of cool, I think.
What would you call it?
I don't know yet.
Gamer.
GMV.
I mean, everyone always does like more, or plus, or any of those. You know,
I would do MVG squared.
Can I call it? They took my ape. Something like that.
Think for yourself.
Think for yourself's a good one.
Oh, that's not bad.
You know what? I could see that channel being bigger than the main channel with a title like that.
Think for yourself. I like that actually.
Beefy.
Hey, hold on. Copyright pending.
Beefy.
Yeah, you gotta hit the beefy NFT.
I got it already. I had the one of one. Well, so does the artist, probably.
Yeah, another one, Evan.
The Brazilian community is asking for a localized translation of Breath of the Wild. With what happens with the trash Spanish from Spain version of Pokemon, what will it take for Nintendo to localize for their massive audience in Latin America? Apparently, I looked into this because we did have a question a few weeks back about Spain Spanish versus Latin American Spanish, and it's there's like colloquialisms where something innocuous in Spanish spoken in Spain will mean something horrendously slanderous in Latin America, but Nintendo just does the Spain version of Spanish and then sends it to Latin America. So like you could be just playing a game where it's like something nice and happy, and instead the person's reading it as "fuck you and your mom," like that kind of stuff.
Another three.
I actually was there was like a whole movement for a while going on, especially over Twitter, over getting things translated specifically to like Brazilian, Portuguese and stuff like that. And it's actually very, very interesting because Brazil is a huge population, not just Latin America, but Brazil specifically itself. So when I found that out, because I just assumed natively that Brazilian Portuguese would be translated into, I think that Nintendo honestly should branch out to it. But again, it is one of those things like the European Portuguese, like the Portuguese, it has slightly different variations. And again, like when you have it translated over to the Latin America, kind of, not to mention everything in Brazil is extremely expensive. Like I feel so bad for everybody there. Like it is so expensive over there for everything. But I really feel like Nintendo hopefully can take the time to get things locally translated for the gamers in Brazil, because love y'all and you're great. But yeah, it's rough right now.
My older brother, my older brother is a polyglot. He speaks 8 languages. He does translation work, and he'll talk about translating things between languages. And he speaks Portuguese, and he'll talk about how hard it is to take like a pun about a town and converting that properly into another language. It's like, this person says that you hate the couch, but really it's this joke that says fuck the ditch. It's really hard.
Yeah.
So some of the super chats here. I Live for Retro says, when can we see you or MVG mod the game and watch? There have been a lot of advancements recently. Sounds like something MVG might look into. The Game and Watch, I didn't think there was a lot to it. Apparently there's been advancements made for it, MVG, so it might be worth looking into there.
I'm gonna check it out.
Let's see. Patrick says, can you guys talk about Sony's plans for PlayStation 2022, like how you did for Nintendo and Microsoft? Yeah, I think we might actually do that next weekend. I wanted to get Nate back to the podcast at some point. He's been working a lot. He'll be back, but he was someone I wanted to have back for the Sony thing.
He's in LA at the Nakatomi Plaza, I think, right now on assignment. He'll be back.
Taking care of a side project.
William says, have any of you heard The Weeknd's new album?
I listened to a few songs from it. I haven't heard the whole album yet.
Is it good?
Yeah, I like The Weeknd. Good voice. Good music.
2007 Gaming says, Halo is the best game for a half hour to spend. Oh yeah, Click, what'd you think of the Master Chief Collection?
I've been enjoying it. Oh my god, it's so great. Yeah, I think what's really cool, so I played Halo Combat Evolved in the OG graphics and kind of would like flip.
Oh, in the OG? Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, we played it OG because it's like I wanted to get the vibe.
Sure.
And plus, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I really feel like the remaster of the OG doesn't really capture
there were some things they took out of that, like specifically on like the flood mission, where they took like blood off the walls and all this stuff, and like
but also the fact of like in the OG it's like dark and grungy, and you switch to the remaster and it's like daytime outside. It just doesn't capture the same feel. Like inside the library it didn't even necessarily feel the same. So I hated the library, by the way. So, so I was like, what is this? The beach was really cool. It was really cool. I love the fact that you are able to switch on the fly between the graphics.
It's kind of cool, right?
That was the coolest thing. And then Halo 2 was just a blast. It was really cool to see the remastered. We played the full remastered in that. Cutscenes were phenomenal. We're starting Halo 3 on Monday, so I'm really excited. But it's been really, really cool, and like getting to see people like kind of talk about like all of their memories and all the experiences they've had. But I genuinely like know nothing about Halo. Like nothing is, for as popular as it is, I feel like it would have been spoiled for me. But, like I'm not looking at chat for the next like 20 minutes because you're gonna spoil something.
No,
it's been a blast.
2 is good. 3 is good too for like the story and all of this.
The cliffhangers though, bro, I can't imagine. Like we were talking about it at the end of 2, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who might be in the same boat as me, but I was like, bro, I can't imagine like waiting like 3 years to finish
when you finish. No, when you finish 2, before you start 3. Oh, okay. Before you start 3, go look up the trailer for Halo 3 called Starry Night.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Is because I was talking with them. I was like, so what is the marketing behind it? And they were telling me like, okay, so like, you know what happens here? Like they market it for the launch of 3, because I'm really into like marketing strategies and how you're selling the hype and selling the experience. And so they were just telling me, so like, I think it's on Monday, we're gonna go through and like look at all like the like old YouTube uploads to reactions to trailers and stuff like that.
The Starry Night trailer, it still hits. Still hits. It's good.
Yeah, and get the vibe behind it, because it's like, I like looking back almost like time capsules and seeing what people got to go through, like a whole other side of gaming that I didn't get to experience. And it's cool because like there's a lot of other people in the same boat as me.
That might have been a Super Bowl commercial or an NBA commercial. It was during like a big event when they showed that. And it looked, at the time we were with those newer TVs. What were they called, Jordan? DLP, the Vision, I'm trying to remember, Dolby. So they had like a initials for it, but it was like Dolby Vision or something. It was something else, but this was back in like the mid 2000s. I thought that's what the commercial was for at first, because they don't show anything Halo related. It's kids in like the field, and that just shoots to Halo with bubble. It was crazy. Like people were like screaming in my house. So
it was a Super Bowl commercial, by the way.
Okay, that's what it was. Yes, that is my favorite Halo commercial ever made. Starry Night. It is incredible.
And Clayton, now you understand. This is why everybody back in the day read the Halo books, because that gap between the games, that cliffhanger was so strong. Everybody wanted any tiny clue.
So were the books released in
play the games?
Were the books released in between the game launches?
Yes. So there was Halo 1 came out, and they released the first 2 books, which is like a prequel to the first game, and then the second book is a novelization of the first game, and then they basically released this one called. That was like almost a predecessor to 2 and led up to a lot of those events. And they started releasing books to tease 3.
Okay.
It was all side quests. It was other stuff in the universe to set up like, all right, here's somebody you might meet. And then they don't even connect it all to the games hardly. But
this is from Jeffrey saying, don't thank me, thank Bengals -6. There you go. Andrew says, what's the best gaming laptop to buy right now? Ooh. I would.
Doesn't MSI? They have some good ones.
It depends. I guess it depends, because like you can get a really nice OLED panel now at like 60 hertz, but a lot of people are going towards 1080p, 144 hertz laptop screens because you can get a lot of the video cards now. But some of the brands, people like Asus with like the Republic Gamer, and then a lot of people like that Razer Blade. I've never tried it, but people use that as like their day-to-day laptop, but they outfit them with like RTX 3070s and 3080s and stuff. I think
it's expensive though. Laptops
are. Yeah, if you want a good laptop with a solid video card, you're spending easily thousands of dollars. If you want it to be a good build quality and not sound like it's trying to take off into orbit. So it's a lot of those can get pretty loud, but there are some good ones. I think there's like the Asus Tough is a good build quality. I have to look into where we are now going into 2022, as I think new models were shown off at CES.
I got pulled up Amazon because I was interested. I mean, they're all like, it's $1,700, and that's kind of the for just like the baseline. But if you want the 30 series, Yeah, you're spending it's 2200, 2500, 2800.
Well, if anyone in the chat maybe got a new laptop for Christmas or has been using one for like a year or so that's a bit newer, leave it in the chat, let people know some of the model numbers that are out there.
Like this Acer Nitro, it has a GeForce RTX 3080. That's 2300 or 2400. So it's like, as AMD Ryzen 9, 8 core. I mean, that's really good, but $2400, so
you can get a pretty beefy desktop for that. Beefy.
This from Dark saying, what video game franchise would you like to see be made and work in a 3D open world? Kind of like how they are doing Pokemon Legends Arceus or Sonic Frontiers, Breath of the Wild. Metroid, okay.
Yes.
Kid Icarus, please, Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus would be great.
I would something from Kid Icarus because the last game was so good. Just 3DS.
That's a 3D open world. Yeah, those are some good ones there.
I say Star Fox because Starlink was pretty fun as far as like the traversal.
Star Fox is great. That's a great pick too.
Yeah.
John, what's your pick? I want to hear your pick.
F-Zero.
Yeah, I was gonna say something weird like F-Zero.
I was gonna say the back half of the Halo 5 or Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite, the back half of it.
Yeah.
Man.
I haven't picked anything.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it a bit. I don't know what I want to go open world. I get so many open world games now.
Mario Kart 9.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like, what games can we make more linear and like?
Yeah, I think sometimes I think that too, man.
Open world Uncharted, give you, baby.
Open world Uncharted, okay.
Open world Uncharted. They kind of already did that.
That last game. It's pseudo
a little bit.
Yeah.
And in 4 in that open area when you have the Jeep, but it's pseudo open world. It's forcing you in one direction.
I wanted more of that though. That was honestly my favorite shot of the whole game is when they first give you the car and kind of just go, all right, figure it out. I want a whole game of that.
I mean, people are dropping Mega Man in the chat for you.
Let's just remake Mega Man. Let's do that.
But I'm pretty sure you just want like another X. Like
I just want an X. It
doesn't need to be open world. Just a really good side scroller.
I don't even need that.
Terrible.
I don't even need that much of a budget for me. I just want another Mega Man X. Let's just do that.
No, we just need a Mega Man X. Yeah. We don't need an open world Mega Man, especially from Capcom. They got like
unless it's Legends 3. If it's Legends 3, I mean, I'm all right with that.
Legends cool, Dragon's Dogma cool. They got franchises that they can do that, but like typical Mega Man, no, that's like the 2D. We need like a slick 2D, like Metroid. Look at Dread. Look how awesome Dread is. If we can get Mega Man with that quality, that would be way better than them extending and doing, some type of weird. Remember that weird Mega Man that they tried to do back in I think the 7th generation, like it was like a first-person shooter Mega Man. It was like Metroid Prime Mega Man.
Oh no,
some real change in Mega Man.
I know what you're talking about. I saw that. I did a video like it's 5 years ago, canceled games, and I showed some of that gameplay.
Imagine like an open world fight night. Just like pick fights with people randomly.
The shit out of people.
I'd probably play that. PT says hot take without any info or gameplay. Game of the year 2022. Like we have to guess. We have to guess right now. Right now.
I think it's gonna be Breath of the Wild 2.
I'm just gonna say it's Mario Kart 9.
Final Fantasy 16 if it actually comes out.
I want to say GoldenEye.
Remaster.
No, just old GoldenEye wins again.
This is a good question, actually. Because remember, it also depends when the games come out. Because some might miss the cutoff.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 ain't coming out. Shredder's Revenge.
I heard this rumor Cyberpunk comes out this year finally.
Or maybe Elden Ring gets it.
Elden Ring, Horizon, God of War.
Breath of the Wild's going to be in the. They're all going to be in the mix. Yeah, I think they're all going to be in the mix.
Starfield could be in there too if that actually turns out to be good.
I heard a shocking little amount of Kirby in this conversation, but
who? Oh, Kirby's fantastic. It's great. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Man, that's tough. Just put a guess right here, right now on January 15th. I am going to guess. I'm going to guess Breath of the Wild too, just because I think it'll make this year.
It's the safest pick if it comes out this year.
I think that game's coming November. I'm going November. It's going to make it just in time for the cutoff.
Nope.
Call him March.
Call November, baby. Call November.
23.
Jordan knows.
I know the truth. My uncle works at Nintendo, so
Nice.
That would be an interesting game of the year lineup, by the way. If there was a God of War that released this year, an Elden Ring, Horizon, a Starfield, like that. There's a lot there that could be. There could even be a whole new 3D Mario game for all we know.
There's tons of games this year. This year is nuts, man.
I told you, 2022 is going to be probably one of the biggest years in gaming we've ever had.
Next month is nuts. Dying Light's coming. Dying Light 2. That game's coming out as well.
I think that game. I'm hoping that game turns out to be really good because I like Dying Light 1. They're going to support this thing for 5 years. Apparently, I'm ready for Dying Light 2. I'm excited.
I think it's going to be good. I'm not a Dying Light fan, but I think it's going to be good from what I've seen.
You going for that 500 hours?
No, it says it's like 20 hours to beat the game or something. I'll play that and then I'll do some extra stuff and I'll move on.
They had to clarify like 2 times.
They really thought they had something there with that 500 hours on. They're like, oh,
you can play this game,
shock the world,
literally ever. No. But, okay, here's the break. You can play the story that much, and then there's all the extras. Okay, never mind. Listen, it's like 20 hours, and then there's like this many, and then
everyone's making fun of EA with their
walk the map corner to corner or something.
Everyone's making fun of EA with their little flow charts and their graphs. Would have worked out right away.
Damn right, and I'm still gonna make fun of it. Every time. Art Electronic, let's go. He's bringing them back. Give me another flowchart and I'll do it again. I'll do another stupid skit.
Explain the chart.
We are gonna need a remake remaster category for the Game Awards this year, though. Jeff, if you're out there, we're gonna need it.
Yeah.
So set that up. Zaid says, now that Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on Game Pass, I've been considering playing it. How does it hold up? Very good.
It's incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You could put that game against any game that came out last year, and it's probably still one of the top.
How does it hold up?
Came out.
It's still the best Western-made RPG ever. That's how it holds up. It's better than everything that comes out today. It destroys Cyberpunk. It's better than everything. That's no cap.
Okay,
Is it better than the GameCube?
It's Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Destroys The Witcher. Destroys all of them.
Okay.
Does it destroy the game?
All of them.
Does it destroy the GameCube, OJ?
Yeah.
Which game?
Destroy the GameCube.
The whole thing.
Just the GameCube in general.
We're not talking about that. Let's stay on topic here. And everything from the 7th generation and up.
From someone who had never played Mass Effect before, going off of just these guys, opinions, I played it for the first time last year, fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite games ever. So you should give it a try.
Damn straight.
The Legendary Edition is so much better than the original. That's the crazy thing.
Hey, that first game feels like butter now.
It's so smooth.
So much better.
I think what I tell anyone that's thinking about Mass Effect is just play the first hour of the game, and if you don't like it, then you can just walk away. But most people get hooked.
This
quickly.
Is from Penn asking, which past gen system would you play forever?
Neo Geo.
I'm gonna say PlayStation 2 because the library in that is just stupid. Like, it is ridiculous. So that's where I'm going.
1.
Can I say OG Xbox and load it up full of emulators and ROMs?
No. Stock retail only.
No.
Which means the PS2 is also the PS1. There we go.
I'm going with the Game Boy Advance because I like a lot of the Game Boy Advance games, and technically I can get like NES and SNES games on the Game Boy Advance without ROMs. So I can go anywhere and play it. So.
I mean, if we're talking backwards, why not a PS3 backwards? That way
I just ruined my argument there. Okay, so it has to be, you have to pick the one system. That's fine. PS2. I'm still sticking with PS2.
PS1.
There you go.
I need my Bayonetta. I need my Smash Brothers. So I gotta go with Switch.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Xbox 360 there for a minute.
I was actually afraid you were about to say Wii U. And
you still get your Mass Effect. You still get Bayonetta.
I got all the Bayonetta games on Switch. 1, 2 are both on. I got Smash Brothers. I gotta pick that one because I need my Bayonetta.
Did you say past gen though? You can't do current.
Oh, they did say past gen.
Did he say past gen? I thought he just said pick the system.
Past gen.
Oh shit!
It's the Wii U for you.
No, not the Wii U. No, I would pick like.
Oh no, it's X-Play.
Wild Sean
has the GameCube or PS2.
And at long last.
Oh, he's happy today. Oh, he's happy today.
Smile. He's smiling.
Did the millionaires win?
He's so happy.
People completely unrelated to his life did a thing.
It impacts my life, though.
It impacts his life.
It definitely impacts his life. I've seen him after he's lost, getting on Halo. It's really sad. Solemn. and then exploding into rage after somebody
The
drive
Knicks
by
are playing
teabags
good,
them.
Sean. They're playing good the past few games. They're playing good, man.
I think they're last 10. They're 7-3 or 8-2.
Yeah, they're playing good. I like it.
Sean, which past gen system would you play forever?
Like, do I have a complete library?
No, just like they're just asking. You have to pick one last gen system. You have access to all the games. Which one would you
we're
pick?
assuming it's the system and everything.
Yes.
Just no backwards compatibility, so you can't be like
Yes.
PS2 for PS1 or anything like that.
But I could choose something like the PS2, right?
And then you only get the
I picked
PS2
the PS2.
games. Yeah.
I'm not allowed.
I'd probably pick the PS2 just because there's so many
The library,
games. You know,
Yep.
as long as I have like an HDMI solution for it.
No HDMI.
That's asking too much.
Asking too much.
But you get the Sony. You get the Sony TV.
The 3D
This too is
one?
great. You get God of War 1 and God of War 2.
The really nice, the really nice CRT.
You get a
I got one.
Sylvania. You get a Sylvania television with a composite output.
There you go.
That's what you
Wait,
get.
Dreamcast guy. How dare you not say the Dreamcast?
You know, I'm in a weird
That's like
spot
good.
where I have played every Dreamcast game so
You're good.
much, especially now. Like, I've played so many of them. I've done master files of pretty much every single game. I'm at a point where I want to play the weird PlayStation 1 games I missed.
Gotcha.
This is from Cristobal saying, "Hi OJ, Max, Misclick, and Jordan. Thanks MVG for Shadow Man Remastered
Oh yeah. Check out Shadow Man.
and RGT for interviews with Spawn Wave. That was fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time with that. Too bad on NFTs and double-edged sword on G4 TV.
Did we talk
you
any about that?
No,
The
we didn't.
NFTs.
Yeah. Why, Sean? You want to speak on G4 TV?
I mean, we can.
You can speak on G4 TV. I like Cinematech back in the day.
Are we light on topics? Is that why?
I mean, we still have Xbox and PlayStation, Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
As well as a handful
Different
of,
directions for both of them.
questions.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah.
And a couple of Discord questions left.
Yeah,
Why
so we
you
got
want to speak? You want to speak on G4 TV, Sean? Now that you're here,
Sure. G4 is a product of nostalgia, which a lot of things are. I never thought it was necessary for it to come back. I thought it was really weird because the reason why G4 back in the day was successful is because that's all we had. We didn't have YouTube and high-speed internet. Your best friend might have had DLS, or DSL, excuse me. It was DSL.
DSL. You're right.
DSL.
Second lips.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, your best friend might have had
Go
dick
on.
sucking lips if you were lucky now. But you know, you were, you know, that was it. That was it. You could watch shows about video games. I didn't watch it much, but when I did catch it, you know, I enjoyed it. It just felt like it was unnecessary to come back. And then the whole thing with the lady, I do get where she's coming from because obviously women do, you know, as a show Bob's like all the time sort of thing. But I feel like a lot of people that were disgruntled with her weren't disgruntled with her because she was a woman. I think it was just because she was talking out her ass on a lot of things. And it's like, if you don't know what,
On other topics.
yeah, like on like talking about like some games. What was the thing?
The one that got her in the most trouble is she had a 5-minute rant where she said PlayStation has no games whatsoever or something.
Yeah, like,
and everyone's
it's
like,
like,
"What the hell are you talking about?"
It's just kind of weird. So, you know, that's my thing. I definitely understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I don't feel like you could just take all the criticism and put it into one sphere because, you know, she felt like people were just being misogynistic towards her when,
Yeah.
I mean, that was my whole thing. Like, obviously there's going to be people on the internet who are misogynistic and troll accounts and stuff like that. First off, she needs to learn to try to ignore that stuff as best as possible because, I mean, while it sucks, it's the anonymity of the internet. You know, it's not like you know who this person is, what they do for a living. I'm sure if that information was available readily on the internet, people would be little quiet church mouses instead of talking all big, talking shit to people all the time. But, you know, that was my whole thing on it. You know, I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I do feel like there are valid criticisms as to what she was saying or as to why some people were like, she kind of sucks, you know?
She even backtracked a little bit the next day. I just want to say this real quick. Obviously, Misclick, you got something to say, but she actually backtracked on Twitter the next day. She basically was like, "Oh, people are upset that I keep getting information wrong. I'll work on that." It's like, oh, okay, you didn't even notice that's what people kept saying?
Well, okay, so I didn't know about the whole situation. I only saw what she said during that specific clip that people are talking about. And in that clip by itself, without knowing context, I agree. Because I think whether you're a guy, girl, whatever you identify as, is we've all said incorrect things, or we've said a minor statement and it was incorrect and someone corrected us. I think being able to gracefully say, I think being able to gracefully say, hey, I was wrong. Thanks for pointing that out. I think that's a powerful thing to say, whether you're a guy or a girl. I think the difference, though, is when a guy says something incorrect, oftentimes more than not, it's like, this guy is just dumb, like he doesn't know what he's doing. Versus if a girl says something incorrect, it's like, this is why she's a fake gamer. This is why women should go back to the kitchen. This is why women should be on their knees, like serving me food. Like guys don't necessarily get that. So if a girl, there's more, honestly, more at stake, I think sometimes, not always, but more often than not, if something is said incorrectly or someone has a bad opinion, if it's a girl, it's on a lot of times it is invalidated. And, you know, we want to say like, just ignore it. I think 100 days you can ignore it. And then on that 101st day, something just gets you. Like, it's just the straw that breaks the camel's back. And you can be good about it for 100 days. And then on that, again, the 101st day, that's when people notice. So I think, you know, again, if she was wrong, her going back and saying, yo, if I was wrong, that's about what we're talking about, not me being a woman. So that's good. I just think it's differentiating when we say troll accounts. I don't even think they're troll accounts anymore a lot of times. Like, these are just people who genuinely hate just to hate. And sure, there are troll accounts mixed in. But again, I think it's just like that extra element of people just getting away with saying really, really mean things that oftentimes a lot of guys don't have to. And to be honest, guys go through a lot of crap too. Like, I'm not negating what guys, content creators go through. Like, believe me, these guys go through plenty of stuff too. But a lot of the stuff that I get, a lot of the harassment that I get is a little bit different than what the guys get. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's used as almost seen as a weakness that I am a woman, and that's not fair. And you guys have been super supportive of me. I think, again, if you're going to stick your heels in the dirt and not admit when you're wrong, that's a little bit different of a case than insulting someone just because they're a woman.
Yeah, I did like her rant. People were kind of mad about it, but I think she brought up such a great thing about how, like, so many insults online are gendered insults towards women. Yes, where like people will say I suck. Literally in the chat right now, people will say I suck. Who cares? But people, when they're mad at Misclick, are like, you dumb bitch. It's always like, whoa, what the hell? This is so much more personal.
I get where she's coming from, and I get what Click's. I mean, as Black content creator in a space that's dominated by mostly white people, let's just be real here. The Nintendo community, content creators, it's majority of that. So I get the racism and stuff like that, but you just gotta, the way that she kind of lashed out, like I lash out at some people, but the difference is like she was kind of like going scorched earth, you know? And I think that's what kind of got it. She went scorched earth.
Was, you know, probably extreme. Sure.
Yeah. She went scorched earth, and maybe you should just roast. I like to roast a person. I'll just roast that person. I'm not gonna bring in everybody's this. I'm just gonna roast that person, and I'm gonna involve everybody else to help roast that person.
People watching you.
What's up?
If you have thousands of people watching you, you know, it's probably like, you know, 20, 30 messages just up on a wall.
Yeah,
and the other. It's about one person.
Yeah, and I've had people hate raid me on Twitch, and it's a bunch of people saying stuff, and most people aren't misogynistic. Most people aren't sexist, you know? But I mean, I understand what she's saying. Like, I agree with some of the stuff. It was just, some of the things that she said was just kind of weird. It was just like, she's like, oh, well, if Adam says something, they don't like it's the same thing. Well, yeah, that's how it is. There's times when I say something, people don't like what I say because they don't like me or whatever, for whatever reason. Or you can say something, but if RGT says something in the same video, they have no problem with it. If John says something, they have no problem. I'm not going to bring up the examples, but I've literally said the same thing John has said sometimes. And the same people will say, you're stupid, OJ. But then when John says, oh, well, okay. It's just because they like somebody one more. It's not necessarily gendered sometimes. It's just they don't like one person and they like somebody else because maybe something they said before. So I think that's why I said like the whole scorched earth thing was just like, you know, but I get where she's coming from. I understand why she's upset, man. For real. Like I get that. I get all that because yeah, women have to deal with a ton of stuff, you know, it's a lot. So
I wanted an example of one thing that you did and John did.
I ain't going to say it. No, I ain't gonna say it because there's no need, but I'll tell you guys after the show.
Okay, cool. I know one too. Yeah, after the show, I know one that I saw that was ridiculous.
I'm a little confused. Did she see this while they were like on camera?
I think it was like a
Twitch chat as it was happening.
Why is the producer showing them the Twitch chat?
I think they're responding.
It's supposed to be interact because really, unless it's a main thing, if you go to their Twitch channel, I mean, we're not really talking all that high enough. I mean, we're doing similar, if not better numbers than they are on their Twitch channel for the downtime stuff, because they're going.
No, they did the D&D stuff, and they had like 24,000 people. It
The
was awesome.
D&D community on Twitch is huge, and after the whole thing that happened with what was his name?
They were having to moderate a lot, and she's on that show, and there was like a lot of stuff going on there too. So.
Well, it just seems like an easy way to derail the entire show, and that's what people who make those comments want in the first place. Right. So I'm not sure why they're going that route. Why wouldn't they produce and manage it
procedure right now? So a good friend of mine in real life is a big esports caster, and she's a woman. And a lot of times what they'll do is while they're on stage, they're on the set, and there'll be these big screen TVs of live chat. And she had a time recently where people were saying horrible, really mean, calling her, really making fun of how she looks physically, and she just sees humongous text floating next to her, the camera. Basically, there's a teleprompter, and 1 foot to the left is, kill yourself, fatty, or whatever. And it's like, oh wow, that's great.
That's terrible, man. Like I hate.
It's like it messes with you, and you're being watched by 10,000 people. It's hard not to occasionally be like, hey,
I'm not blaming her for doing that too. By the way, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have. Like, yeah, you get frustrated. Heck, I've blown up on stream sometimes too. So I'm not even gonna sit there and say she shouldn't have said it. Yeah, she was upset. She was frustrated. Clearly, she's human. She's upset. She wouldn't do it if she wasn't. She wouldn't do it if this only happened 1 or 2 times. There's no way in hell she would have done it, because she's been around for a long time creating content. She has tons of followers on Twitter and all that. So it's because it's been piling up and you get frustrated. I see exactly what she's seen in other type of ways in my own struggles with stuff. So I ain't mad at her that she did it. Yeah, she blew up and maybe she got some stuff wrong. But sometimes when you're upset, you say things wrong or whatever, So, and they got 100,000 views from that video. So there you go.
I think G4 in general, though, Sean, you're probably right in that it's not the same as it used to be for them. So I think in general they're having a hard time adapting.
I mean, if we really want to get into this and name names and stuff, like I'll do it. I don't care.
What? No,
I don't care. I burn bridges before I even come to them sometimes.
It was good to know all of you.
I don't want to be disrespecting.
Can I not get burnt too on the bridge that you're on? I don't want to get roasted too.
Quick, everyone turn their cameras off. It might be better.
He's walking out with matches. Being like, you want to get hurt?
Fine, Sean.
I think everyone understands that when I speak, it's just for me.
No.
Well, all right, go ahead and talk.
We're all getting clipped.
No, I mean, it's just when you look
at it. Still up, MVG. They know it's you, bro.
when you look at Adam Sessler, he's been the main driving force of that channel the whole time. True. Go watch G4 back in the day, and there's tons of sexual innuendo and jokes from that time frame, that early 2000s time frame. Some of the skits were based on sexual innuendo, and then you relaunch it and then you try to complete the complete opposite. I think people are going to be confused about that. Same branding, same name, some of the same people who haven't moved on with their life. So it's like it's sort of a product of what you've created, because you didn't have that moment. Like a lot of people, when they first, so compare yourself to 10 years ago. You're probably different in some regards. You're probably different in the things you say and how you view different things. You're probably a better person, because that's what we all strive to be. Well, I mean, that's what we mostly strive to be. People either go up or they go down for the most part. But you're able to watch that trajectory, especially if it's someone who's on YouTube, because you're constantly conveying things out there. G4 had, a 15-year gap between when they were last on television to when they're back. So they didn't have that chance to do that character redemption to show they're different now. And they just sort of launched out there.
That's true.
With
the same
technically,
sort of thing.
I've been watching. Adam Sessler's been working for a series of websites, and I was watching him. I don't know why I'm such an Adam Sessler fan, but I am. I actually watched him when he worked on Rev 3 Games. He was doing a bunch of reviews and stuff. So I've seen the slow evolution of him becoming this soft old man. But it's been interesting seeing him just try and fit in a network setting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just one of the main things about it is the original G4 was that, because and once again at that time, early 2000s, most of us on the show were teens to early or to late teens, early 20s. your libido's running. And that was the video game crowd. That older video game crowd didn't quite exist like it does now with people like our age, because we've become those people because it was such a new medium. So I feel like they were targeting that audience because that's the audience that was watching them. Some 40-year-old guy probably wasn't watching G4 TV at the time. It was mostly a younger audience. So like I said, it was a product of its environment, but we never got to see that product sort of expand and move away from that. It was just the product was there, the product went off, and then the product came back. So that you have that huge gap where people expect it. The kids nowadays, maybe they saw, a clip of Morgan Webb and they were like, oh man, yeah, this is gonna be hot. And then you watch the show and it's like, oh, this is different. So this is my thoughts on it.
I think just because it was obvious, I'm not saying you're advocating, but I'm just saying for a lot of people, like, you have to also consider me as a young girl watching that growing up was a little bit different. And to be honest, I advocated to not be a certain kind of way, and I didn't like necessarily a lot of stuff that was portrayed on there. And if anything, it motivated me to create a space one day when I grew up of like, I know when I do something, it's not going to be at the hands of someone else choosing what I do. And people who were on that programming back then, obviously they agreed to be doing a lot of what happened back then, but just because it did doesn't mean it's okay. You look back at a lot of the stuff and it's like, oh, that's kind of like not really necessarily the best. So I think, again, if they had marketed that they were changed, they obviously would receive a lot of hate back. But I think because they didn't market enough, like you said, they kind of just launched right away. People were expecting one thing. There wasn't really any information that there is kind of an evolving situation with how G4 is going to represent itself. And again, I think it just comes back to nostalgia, people expecting things. And when it doesn't meet their expectation, it's like, okay, well, respect the personalities that are on there now. Or, if you don't like it, don't like it. But don't be going hatefully after these people. Like they are. I think just times have changed both ways. Like back then, it was just a one-way show. They would just air the episodes and that was it. They wouldn't hear the person screaming in their living room. Now they can see it in front of them in real time, and I think they're having a hard time adjusting necessarily. Yeah, that's true.
They need to adjust. They need to just ignore it. For G4 as a company,
that's what I would do.
Well, I know it sucks and they can't, but for the sake of the young lady and the Black Hokage dude that's on there and all the other people and Gerard, the completionist, he's on there. He's dealt with some stuff, mentally. Just let them do their episodes and let them do their shows and don't show them live chats and all. They've got a production team.
Yeah.
They need to see live chats, or the production team can take the brunt of that.
Yeah, no, if they want the interaction,
the good comments to them.
If they want the interaction, that's what news channels do, is they don't let you see like anyone saying anything live. They always give you like that tweet that they filtered in or that comment they filtered in.
It throws off the whole show. I
think they wanted to approach it more like on the ground level versus being like a cable show. But obviously not at this point. And now that this has obviously been such a thing, the actual, people like attempting to get a rise again are going to be at this more than ever. Unfortunately, when you say things out loud, it's going to get worse. And again, I feel sorry for those people who try to make things worse. Like, how miserable is your life that's what you waste your time doing? But that's their prerogative. Like, at this point, like, just focus. You said what you gotta say, but whatever the backlash is, you just gotta focus. Don't look at the chat and just do your thing. Do what you love to do. And the people who hate it will hate it, and the people who love it love it.
Imagine what like teams do, like football teams and all that. Like when they read all the crazy stuff that happens, or certain you can't. Yeah. You just gotta let it rock. Whatever they say, that's whatever. But just make your content.
Sure.
There's a great quote I like that said, Beyonce is not reading YouTube comments. And I've always liked that idea of like, just go out there, make your stuff. If people hate it, it'll find its way back to you. But don't sit there and obsessively stare into the criticism, because it'll tear you
apart. It really will. Yeah.
Beyonce's fans will tear you apart before she even gets.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
Beehive? Oh my god!
I've seen those people on Twitter. I'm like, holy shit.
They're not intelligent and they're also active. So I mean, like, it's like a combination. It's the double whammy. They're stupid and they come after you hard. So I mean, it's like
they live on Twitter and they are dumb as hell.
They're dumb as hell. Like, they really are stupid, but they'll come after you, man.
They should just make more icons. That's all. X-Play, icons.
Oh, yeah,
instead of documentaries. Those are the good ones.
I think they should just go away.
Icons is good. Icons is really good.
I agree. that we're in a space now where these people, honestly, Gerard spending so much time on this, I'd rather just him do more YouTube videos.
Right? I feel like the personalities are spending a lot of time trying to make this work, trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And I feel like in a year from now, we're going to be having the conversation. Oh yeah, remember how G4 came back for a couple months and then went away? Like I fully believe it's not making it out of 2022.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it right now too. So
we'll see though. I wish him luck, but I just don't necessarily think it's super necessary.
Yeah. Well, we got a Discord question over there, Evan.
Is Kirby's 30th anniversary going to get more love than Zelda's 35th?
Maybe.
It might, because they're supposed to be doing more stuff with games and some merchandise and stuff.
Probably just gonna be a tilt and tumble Game and Watch or something, right? Like,
I mean, maybe, yeah. Apparently it's gonna be a smaller game that they're gonna release too, and they're gonna have a bunch of merchandise and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it might.
Where's the all pink Kirby Switch? That's the one I want.
Ooh,
I'd buy that.
It has like a marshmallow feel on the outside of it.
Does it just have like two eyes on the back, the face, like a face on the back, said the Switch logo?
That'd be so cute.
I'd love that.
Be a good. I think they'd do it as Switch Lite. That'd be cool.
Oh, I was gonna say Switch Dock could be like his mouth. Like when you set it in, it's the eyes and then his mouth.
Go on.
They just like making Switch Lights though.
Yeah, they do.
Got another one, Evan?
Is there any actual chance that we could see GameCube games come to NSO, or is it more likely that they'll just release ports of them?
They'll just release port, like Metroid Prime HD. That's going to be. I feel like that's going to be a $60 game, and that's going to be a whole conversation on its own when that gets revealed.
Good. I'm paying for it, baby. Metroid Prime? Yep.
Yeah, I would like Metroid Prime as well, but I understand people are looking at me like that's a GameCube game and it's $60. Like
they might throw some online in there to test things out.
I would like to see them have some kind of surprise. That would be really cool. Yes.
How is Metroid Prime on the game today?
Metroid Prime 1? They make an online mode for that game, or
no? I'm saying they could include one.
Metroid Prime 2's multiplayer.
Yeah,
they could probably do something to throw it in there just to try it out.
It doesn't have to be robust or anything like that, but at least try, because I mean, I think we all assume that Prime 4 is going to have some online capability with it, right?
I would think so, yeah, for multiplayer.
So this is a good way to sort of test out what works and maybe what doesn't work. Use it as a bit of a test.
Federation Force HD.
Stop it.
Let's talk about the PlayStation 4 first. So we had a report from Bloomberg saying that Sony is going to be creating another 1 million PlayStation 4 systems for 2022, which goes against their original plans. They were apparently going to be discontinuing the PS4 like last year, at the end of last year, 2021, and then just go full speed out on the PS5. But they're having a hard time getting parts to make it, and they've realized that the PS4 is cheaper to make, so that actually works into the bottom line for getting parts for the PS5 by allowing these companies and suppliers to create PS4s and make more money that way. So it works out for their deal for PS5 parts. So another year for PS4s.
Yep. It's very strange, but I mean, it kind of makes sense. I've seen a bunch of people confused about this, but it seems like because so many of the big PlayStation 5 games right now are cross-gen, the fact that Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo, despite the fact that all the trailers still say PS5, freaking God of War Ragnarok, everything is going to be on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So I feel like this is two things at once. It's just to make more systems so you can buy something. And I do think that part of this is because they want to sell as many copies of God of War as humanly possible. And this can kind of help with that.
The thing with this though is this part technically isn't new for Sony because they made the PS3, the PS2, like years even after the new system came out. It's the cross-gen development that's new for them. Like they have never done this before for first parties standpoint. It's always third party would do it. They'd be like, oh, we'll make something for the PS3 and the PS4 at the same time. Not Sony's first party though. Not like you got like Gorilla in there or some of these others. It's a strange situation Sony's in right now between like the PS4 and the PS5.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because I mean we already know what's coming cross-gen, but if there's new announcements this year,
there will be.
And
there will be PlayStation 4. I told y'all like a couple weeks ago. I said we're gonna see new PlayStation 4 first-party games in 2023. I have zero doubts about it, and all this is doing is just reaffirming my theory because Jim Ryan's a liar.
I agree with you now. I did not believe you a couple weeks ago, but with this news, I believe you now.
But what games are these going to be big games? Or these going to be smaller games, right? They're not going to be like.
I think they're going to be on the level.
Party.
I kind of feel like they're going to be a level of like a Concrete Genie or something. Maybe. You think they're going to do like the next big title? It's going to be like PS4 and PS5 also.
Yeah, I think so. I think Sean's right. And do you remember like a couple of years ago when Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 were supposed to be the last PS4 games? I mean, what Sean said, I don't think that Jim Ryan is a liar. I mean, it's easy to say yes, he is a liar, but I mean, I think really at the end of the day, this is a rolling with the punches type deal, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this.
Got to roll with the punches, man.
New Infamous gets announced. Is it PS4 and PS5?
Yes.
When's it coming out? When's it coming out?
Is it coming out, Jordan?
2023, 2024.
I'm hoping it's 2023.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
If it's coming out next year, it's being devved on a PS4 dev kit.
Yeah.
Last of Us remake
this year and cross-gen.
Oh,
Last of Us remake is probably exclusive, right?
Put the remake on the PS4.
Who would buy that again on PS4?
You can either get the remaster or the remake.
Yeah. I've seen the amount of people I've seen lining up to buy that thing before even knowing it exists.
They will buy it again. You do Uncharted 4, if they remade Uncharted 4, people would buy that.
I don't think they're gonna sell them in stores. I think they're just gonna be on their website because $1 million they're gonna do globally. So I think you go to PlayStation Direct, you buy and it's a PS4 Slim. It's not even the Pro. It's just the Slim, $300 Slim. It's just the Slim. It's the cheapest one to make, and think about it, it's $300. It's the same price as the Series S.
All right, big question, because this one may be a little further out. We don't know. Spider-Man 2.
No.
Oh, that's PS5. That's only PS5. That's gotta be.
That's where we're drawing the limit.
I will tell you this: if they show up with a PS4 logo, people really got to ask some questions. Then, all right.
Here's the thing. I think they want to do that on PS4 because look at how good Miles Morales has sold. Look at how good the Spider-Man game. That's the huge audience, right? That's expanded audience game for them. And if you don't have it on PS4 and it's only PS5, the chip shortage isn't completely gone in next year, right? 2023. That game's coming out 2023, right? Yeah. So it's slated for that. So if you don't have it on PS4, that is a lot of lost sales. That's going to be a ton of lost sales.
The main rumor, though, is that it's heavily focused on multiplayer, that the game is going to be playable co-op with Miles Morales and Spider-Man simultaneously. That's the only reason I think it won't be on PlayStation 4 is technical holdback, because I do think they'll need the PlayStation 5 to render simultaneous New York City.
It's going to have to swallow the bullet or bite the bullet, whatever that expression is on that one, because they're losing a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money lost.
Someone in the chat brought this up. I do want to say, if we are getting an Infamous 3 anytime soon, I do think there's a very high chance we are getting some sort of remastered pack.
Oh yeah, they'd want to bring 1 and 2 up, right?
I think we get 1 and 2 remastered, and then like a free download code of Second Son for like PlayStation 5 or something.
That'd be real. I'd pay a lot of money.
I'd pay a lot of money for that. The second game still looks great. Yeah. Obviously, Second Son looks fantastic, but the first game is great and it really needs a facelift. So that would be fantastic.
I'd play
the story of 1 is still the best.
It's a great
I
story.
Still like 1 the most.
Don't look too great looking back at the game right now.
Oh, question though. If they did a full remaster pack for Infamous, do they announce it as PS5 and PC?
Yeah, I'd say that's an easy dub. You just throw that right on there. Why not? Easy dub. Throw it on there. Why not?
Business wise, yes, but I don't think Sony wants to do day 1 quite yet.
No.
Well, this isn't quite yet. I think this is still a little ways out. I think this is either late this year, next year.
Well, it kind of reminds me of the Uncharted collection they're doing. That's going to PC the same day as the PS5.
Because it's not new. Even if they remaster a bit of the first game, it's still not new. They can easily just say, it's on everything.
I see what you're saying. I agree, and I think it could, because it's free money at that point. You've already made the game, just throw it out there.
Okay. Next question. Does the Infamous announcement happen before the Bloodborne patch?
What Bloodborne patch?
What Bloodborne patch?
The Bloodborne patch that comes out with Silent Hill.
See, now we're getting somewhere. It's a pre-order bonus. There we go. I think by the end of 2022 we'll be past the PS4. I think this is kind of like, well, we got to make something. Let's make PS4 systems because God of War will be on the PS4, and we assume that's like the last release for Sony of 2022, September, October release or something.
When's Gran Turismo?
That's March.
Oh, is that
March?
Oh, I thought it was later.
Yep.
Cool.
No,
Okay,
March.
Cool.
Yep. And then I have some over the summer. They'll be talking about PSVR 2 a lot, I believe, this year. So that'll all be PS5 only stuff. And Sean's our resident VR expert now. So he'll keep us up to date on that. We'll see. I think by the end of this year, we'll be past the PS. People probably won't even notice that they'll discontinue the PS4, similar to what happened to the Xbox One, because I have to imagine that this news, after it broke about a PS4 from Sony, that I think The Verge, they asked Microsoft about the Xbox One. And we all figured the Xbox One was discontinued. I haven't seen a new Xbox One system in a store or on Microsoft's website in a long time. And Microsoft said they had discontinued it at the end of 2020. They just didn't make a big deal about it. They just moved on from it. So
I'd seen a console, but I guess that's just backstock.
It's a weird situation because when we started this generation up and there were a lot of announcements, Microsoft was definitely the one who was like, we'll do cross-gen. It's cool. Don't worry about it. And I just remember them, a lot of backlash hitting them, and Jim Ryan was very strategically very quiet on the other side. And now it's really flipped completely around to where it's just series systems and PS4 and cross-gen on the other side with Sony.
It's because they never really made a quote unquote new console from scratch. They just upgraded the console, where Sony was like, here's the next
That's a good point. It's same OS and everything.
The same, it acts the same, it's just more powerful. So it's just an upgrade. So where the Xbox Ones are phased out, the Series S is kind of the baseline replacement, and then with obviously the X being
I can't blame Microsoft. I'd be getting away from that generation as fast as I can too. I'd be running away from that thing because it was not a great generation for Microsoft over. I mean, it was better than the original Xbox in terms of sales, but like compared to the 360, it was definitely a downturn for everything.
I love the Series X. It's my most used console.
I mean, the Series X is a good system. Yeah, I just mean like the Xbox One.
Yeah,
I'm cool with the
Xbox One X is good. Xbox One X is a good console too. I think that
one was great.
You know what my problem is now? I plugged in like my PS4 because I needed a save off of it for, it might have been Final Fantasy 7 Remake, because I want to do some intergrade. And dude, that system is so slow to do everything now. And I think it's just because the SSDs now and these, like, I see a load screen, I'm just immediately mad. Like,
well, even the menus, whenever you try and open up, you click the thing where you're like, I want to look at the previous games I've owned on the PlayStation 4. Each individual picture slowly pops in. It's like,
yeah, that's the biggest thing I think that we're going to get used to this generation. And if we ever go back to those systems for like a fun nostalgia trip or something, there's gonna be like, oh man, I forgot how long it takes to do everything on these systems now.
Yeah, so the speed of the Xbox Series and the PS5 is really impressive and great.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. The systems now are just so fast and they're not loud. So it's just overall just better experience for the most part. But you're right, Jordan, it's basically just like an upgraded Xbox One, basically. So
just upgrading it.
Yeah, but we're going to start seeing those Xbox Series only games now. Redfall, right? That's coming up. We have Stalker 2, I believe, making this year. We'll see. That's December.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
They had to rip those NFTs out of there, ruin the whole thing.
Wait, what else has Microsoft got this year? Stalker 2 got delayed. Redfall. What else?
Back. Redfall. Then they have Starfield.
Isn't word on the street that Redfall's getting delayed? So
yeah, there's a rumor. There's a rumor that Redfall's getting delayed.
That wouldn't surprise me though, because I was a little surprised that was coming out like a year after they showed it.
I guess another Forza Motorsport game is
mainline
Motorsport 8, right? That should be there.
I have a feeling that they're really that season 2 of Halo Infinite that's supposedly coming, around
Crossfire.
I have a feeling they're oh yeah,
Please.
Crossfire. But I feel like Halo Infinite, they're gonna try and like almost soft relaunch it once all the features are done.
Please.
Yeah, it's still in beta.
I'm curious if we'll see something like Hellblade this year, but I'm thinking that might be next year.
No, based on what they showed, I don't trust that coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
That looked way too good to be a this year game.
That was the problem. Microsoft, they showed off. Oh, we got Hellblade, we got Fable, we got all this stuff is like so many years out, man. Like,
hey, we're getting closer.
Yeah,
2023.
No, that's
we're only a year away from 2023.
They really wanted to show that they had stuff coming up.
I get that, but this is ridiculous, man. I get like one game or so, but like
2024.
Yeah, that'll happen eventually.
Is that
what about
hold on?
Where's Avowed?
It's not. I already know what you're asking, John.
Hold on. Does
No.
you know what I'm gonna ask?
No.
Does Fable come out before Metroid Prime 4?
I completely forgot about Fable, to be honest.
I mean, it's not
no.
a game yet.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Fable.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
you think
no.
Metroid Prime 4 comes out before Fable?
I'm saying at the latest, Metroid 4 is next year, and at the earliest, Fable is also next year. So I think Fable's either late 2023 or early 2024. So I think Metroid might just beat it.
I think we're gonna see another GIF of Metroid Prime 4.
No, it
Oh
better
my
not.
God, no way.
Or they say,
That's-
hey, we
should
messed
use that
up
as a fake
again.
out.
We restarted. This time we mean it. We'll figure it out.
So
See you in 10 years.
So Jordan, you say that we see gameplay for Metroid Prime 4 this year, then maybe Fall Direct or something.
No, we see gameplay next year.
I'm thinking we get the Prime trilogy re-release or the redo of 1 or whatever they want to do this year, and I think we get Metroid Prime 4 at a different time than people think.
They show us Metroid Prime, but then they don't show us anything on Metroid Prime 4. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying we get a direct, we get a trailer or something about Metroid Prime 4, and everyone gets excited. It's like, but before we get to that, you can also go and experience the whole series now and get this and get time to play through all the games.
Before or after Zelda's launch, or are they doing another heavy thing for Zelda?
I'm gonna say no.
I think Metroid Prime HD, this rumor HD is coming out like September or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like it's gonna be second half of this year, probably closer to fourth quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be a holiday release.
I think that'll come out before Breath of the Wild 2 would.
Yes,
it's gonna.
People are trying to figure out if that's even come out this year. Breath of the Wild 2. So.
I still think it's getting delayed. I'm not. They said aiming for 2022, and that does not make me feel confident whatsoever.
Yep.
I will tell you, Playground knows what they're doing with those Horizon games. So I got confidence in them for Fable after seeing that Forza Horizon 5 world. So
I just hope it's good, because Fable to me hasn't been fun in a very long time, but the game hasn't been out in a very long time.
Yeah, I like Fable 2 still. Fable 2 was good. Fable 3 was where it kind of lost me.
Fable 3 is when things just started.
That lost
me.
Yeah, like kicking chickens.
I loved it. I played the whole game co-op and I loved it. I mean,
Fable 1's still fun. You can still play Fable 1.
Fable 1 Lost Chapters is incredible. It's still very good.
Anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah, Anniversary. That's the 360 version. Yeah, the 360 version. Very good.
Based on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, March next year. I'm gonna say it's March.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then in the summer, I would say early midsummer is when we get. I think Prime is gonna be the summer game.
Okay.
What's the November game then?
You listen to the Nate the Hate podcast.
Something else.
Clearly.
What's the
November game is Mario Kart 9, and then 4 months later,
a Mario 3D game. I don't
Mario
know.
Kart 9 Super Deluxe.
We haven't even talked about Fire Emblem.
That's not a November game.
Kidding.
That's not a November game.
We haven't even. But
I love Fire Emblem, but that's going to be a summer game.
Yeah, I would say summer for Fire Emblem.
And I'm going to be hyped. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Fire Emblem.
Nintendo stuffs their summer sometimes, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had multiple summer games at beginning, middle, and end.
You guys are going to care about Fire Emblem this time. Wait till you guys see it. You guys didn't watch the Nate the Hate podcast.
Brand new Fire Emblem. Let's go.
You guys didn't watch the podcast. Y'all going to be excited this time. Trust me.
Oh, I've been excited.
Is it a first-person shooter
right
now?
there.
Yeah,
right there.
That would make it suck if it was a first-person shooter.
Shit in it.
I just picture me like, I shall now avenge my family with the gat.
Evan, we got some Discord questions over there.
Has anyone ever eaten at a Rainforest cafe?
Yes, I made a joke about it in a recent video. I love Rainforest Cafe.
Florida.
I've been there before.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Classic.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, imagine you're
It's a
going to
themed
eat
cafe
at a
to look
restaurant,
like a forest. Yeah.
but you're like in a forest, and then like every half an hour, there's like
there's
a
one in
display
Disney,
where it
right?
makes noises and rain sounds like you're in the rainforest.
Why do I need that? I was in
giant fish tank. It's crazy.
I was in Africa. That shit is like the normal thing there. That was just like the typical
bugs the size of your hand trying to kill you.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I got the real thing.
They've commoditized it or whatever.
In
here,
Texas, they put them in like the crappiest malls in Texas. You'll be walking
always in a bad
and
mall.
just hear parrots, and it's like the worst, most annoying thing.
They were. When I think of Rainforest Cafe, I think of like Disney-esque. area. That's where Rainforest Cafe is. Disney.
No,
So-
Mine's in some
like,
random dingy mall.
Yeah, if you ever hit those malls that smell a
the
little
only
bit
store
like a
still
wet
open.
fart, that's where you just find the parakeet noises.
It didn't smell though. Although there was a goat that went right by me one time when I was eating with my wife. There's a goat that just went right, and it looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Cool."
In
That's
Africa, in the
authentic.
Rainforest Cafe.
In Africa.
Oh.
I picture being like, "Can I eat that? Can you grab that? I want to eat that."
Probably do, man. I didn't see it after that day.
They always had the
It was
fake,
posted there for about a cool day or two. Then it was. I was like,
Click
"Oh,
would
where'd the
know.
homie goat go? He
What is
definitely
it?
got cooked."
Is it an alligator or a crocodile they have in the front of the Rainforest cafes? That like that fake one they have in the little where you can throw
I
the
haven't
coins
been
in.
in so long. I would say it's actually a crocodile because alligators are like North American region specific.
See,
Crocodiles.
the more you know.
Let me
No.
go.
He's got one like in her backyard and shit.
Bro, they teach us in school how to run from gators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
In a
zigzag.
zigzag.
Don't come here. All of you who moved
But
here
still no
recently,
taxes.
get out. Leave. Yeah,
They
no.
teach you how to wrestle crocodiles in Australia.
Yes. Yeah. Florida and Australia,
Fight off
we're
the drop bears.
kindred spirits.
In
How to
Texas,
box a kangaroo 101.
someone brought a gun to school for show and tell in Texas.
It was normal too. Nothing happened. He was just like,
Yeah,
"Oh, cool."
no, I literally nothing. This was like before Columbine, but so it was just like, check out
Oh.
my dad's. And it was like, wow, okay.
Very different time.
This is from this one's from Taurus saying, please recommend a new third-party N64 controller for the original system. Which has the best quality? Which has the best value for the cost?
Retro Fighters.
Yes, that one is actually pretty good. This is like the brawler controller, right? Am I thinking right?
Yep.
I don't,
Retro
I don't,
Fighters, bro.
I don't agree with that, but
I don't know why.
What do you got? What do you got, MVG?
just get an OG controller. Don't get
The
any knockoff thing.
New stick that looks like it's got cocaine in the bottom of it. No, thank you.
They have the Admiral, the wireless Admiral controller too.
I haven't tried that one, so I can't speak on it.
I Live for Retro says everyone wants a new Twisted Metal, but what about a new Vigilante 8? Wow, it's been a long time since I played that one. Jeez.
I played the Vigilante games. I feel like they have a lot of nostalgia, but Twisted Metal aged way better.
Yeah. Luxian says, after months of on and off attempts, I finally conquered my demon Jump King, 11 hours of wonderful cruelty.
Oh no. Not jumping.
On a Ship says, John, always enjoy your news with my coffee. Thanks. Let's see. We have Gravity saying, hope everyone had a good day. Just a heads up to everyone. Legends might have leaked online, so be wary on social media.
Oh, damn, that sucks. Let me just.
Spoiler alerts. There's
Tab-
Pokemon in the game.
Sam says, could you invite DSP Gaming to the podcast? It would be the most entertaining Spawncast in Spawncast history.
I
Run
think I'd make him cry. So yeah.
Run it.
I'm interested.
We'd catch him jerking off somehow, and he'd be like,
No.
"Oh, sorry, guys."
You should totally invite him.
That happened in
Gravity
the past.
says,
Yeah.
Gravity says, hope everyone had a good day. Just a heads up to everyone, Legends might have leaked online. Base says, have you guys ever played an unknown indie game that appears randomly on the Xbox Store, PlayStation Network, or eShop?
No.
Just like randomly picked one and played it.
Oh,
yeah, I played that.
yeah.
I played that Castlevania knockoff, Lodos War.
Oh, okay.
when it came out. That's pretty good, actually. Check it out. If you haven't, it's on Game Pass.
Christopher says, sometimes I go through phases where I just don't want to play games. Doesn't matter what game I boot up. I will just be unable to bring myself to play. If any of y'all gone through this, and if so, how do you deal with it?
Yes.
Years ago, I think, before YouTube. Yeah, that happened. And you know what? The reason I was is because we were just around games all the time, like during the day at the stores and stuff.
I think even still, I went through recently. I was going through a phase like that, and I kind of was like, okay, gauging myself for the new year. Just pick up new hobbies, do something that you didn't think you'd do. For me, it was getting back into the gym. Now it's like, in order to balance it out, I want to do kickboxing or jujitsu. That'd be really fun. So it's just like learning to do new things, whether it's reading or journaling or I don't know.
I played Red Faction Guerrilla and blew everything up. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, let's try these games now.
Reinvigorating your passion.
I think you got to find that game that just gets you back into it, I think is what it is, or gets you going again.
Or you could go outside and touch grass. That works too.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I was thinking about gardening.
Gardening.
In a game.
Gardening's cool, man. It's fun. I don't do it, but it looks fun.
Gardening?
Yeah, like if you're really into it, like hardcore, like you like get all the cool flowers and stuff.
No,
Only the cool flowers.
That was my job for years. I'm never doing that again. Fuck begonias. Screw all the plants. Screw seasonal.
What about
This guy hates meat and
spices?
plants.
I'm gonna die.
Grow your own cilantro, bro. Unlimited cilantro.
Ooh, unlimited
So
cilantro?
what happens after you touch the grass though?
What?
What happens then?
Yeah.
Most people just kind of leave you hanging. They say go touch grass. What do you do then?
I usually look around, and go fuck this, and go back inside.
Yeah, I don't really know what happens then. Do you just stand there in your lawn looking around, like just waiting for something to happen, or?
You got to make your own activities, John. Like we can't do everything for you when we tell you to touch grass. We're giving you the head, like the.
But you
heads
told
up.
me to go there, so I'm expecting there to be like something to happen.
You got to be an adult. You're not a kid. You got to think of your own activities once you touch the grass. We're giving you a head start.
For real life, John. You gotta be creative.
Sounds like some Game Freak would tell me to try to sell me the
Pick up a stick and go on your own RPG adventure. Or not, I don't know. It's your life.
When I moved out of my apartment, I took a picture outside. The last day of my apartment, I went out front to take a picture because I used to live next to this little creek, and I went out there and there was this patch of grass I used to always stand on and like look at the creek, and somebody for some reason left this gigantic dildo. And this was like 2 years ago now, but I posted a picture of me being like, I want to touch grass, but this is here. And somebody photoshopped it to look like I was throwing a Pokeball, and the dildo is flying out of the Pokeball.
I remember that
don't
picture.
touch grass. Yeah, that was a good picture.
I don't know if it was a good picture, but I remember it.
Sure, it was a picture.
What would the name of the Pokemon be? Like Dildoian or something?
Dildo, yeah. Like penetrate.
No. Jesus Christ.
We're all adults here, by the way, guys. Fully grown adults here, by the way.
This is the
none of this stuff happens. None of this stuff happens when I avoid touching grass. So.
You're supposed to roll it, John. You're not just supposed to touch it.
Oh. Jay Thomas says, I love my physical games. If it has next gen console as a Switch 2 but could not use physical games, would that be a deal breaker for anyone?
Not a deal breaker, but it'd be very upsetting. That'd be dumb.
You'd be stuck. I mean, what?
That'd be the dumbest thing ever. It's Switch 2 with so they cut off all the ability to people to buy all the Switch games. Like it's a bad business. That's just dumb. I don't see them doing it.
Donovan says, where has Nate been and will he be back? He'll be back. He's doing some real life stuff.
Yeah, he went to touch grass.
He's touching grass. There you go. He's stuck trying to figure out what's next because people just say touch grass. They leave him hanging. Doesn't know what to do.
He's in LA at the Nakatomi Plaza.
See, that's what happens when you go outside. All right.
Fancy.
Now, make sure when he does come back, he did promise that he'll do a face reveal. So make sure in the comments when he's back to remind him that he promised that.
Joe says, finally able to catch the cast live and say thank you all. I found the cast 2 years ago while going through aggressive chemotherapy. Everyone's videos helped get me through the roughest part of my life.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to Joe.
Appreciate you.
Hey, much love, man.
Seriously. That's crazy.
Andrew says the Pokemon IP is worth over $100 billion, right? Why not use that for the game budget?
Well, then how would they have the money if they use it?
Be out of business if
it's
they
profit.
use the whole budget.
Yeah, that's just money they keep in the bank.
The biggest pile possible.
I don't know if it's I know he's probably I think it's more about time more so than money. I mean, I could have $1 billion, but if I don't have the time to create something, like then
there is a really hard schedule that the Pokemon company goes with. Like that's one of the reasons Ilka had to do some crazy patches to my understanding, Diamond and Pearl is because they are on this hard schedule. Because I think people have a hard time remembering when it comes to Pokemon, the video game part is like the small part of their business. Like the cards, the merchandise, the TV show, the movies, even those are like where the big bucks are. Even Pokemon Go was making more money than these games.
The merchandise is insane.
It's the merchandise and
the cards.
Yeah,
the merchandise.
Where the real money is.
If you that's where all of the merchandise and the cards are just insane.
Like if they could treat it like
the games are supplements to bring people into the wider.
Yeah, but when they launch a generation, right, Jordan, they try to get all this stuff out at the same time, right?
That's why they can't delay things.
Yeah, it's impressive.
So like it'd be great if they could follow like Breath of the Wild schedule where they're like, it'll come out in like 5 or 6 years. That'd be great.
Like Xenoblade, like people, look at Xenoblade X. Well, dude, that took them 5 years plus, and they just sat on it, for a while. They had to delay it multiple times too.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I am slightly concerned about Arceus, because it's like I know they're always on this schedule, this crunch schedule that they have to get this stuff out, and I'm like, that's an open world Pokemon game. Here's hoping I don't fall through the floor in the first hour.
And they even made the card game with what's happening at the in next month for the new card set to match with Diamond and Pearl and Arceus and have stuff relating to that. So based on how cards are coming out this year, because every 3 years is a cycle for the next generation, it looks like it's leading to that we are getting 9. So I'm still on the board with we are getting 9 on this being the last year of the Sword and Shield cards is what it feels like. And if that's coming to an end and they're kind of celebrating like the finale of that, it'd kind of be weird if they're like, and we're continuing it a little longer because we're not ready. So I feel like even if they aren't ready, we're still getting Generation 9, whether they want to or not.
I still feel that they can do better, though. I mean, I don't think that's, they can still make a better graphics and do better. So I still feel that, they should.
They have a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, they have room for improvement, too. Everyone here, we all say, like, hey, it's whatever. But I still feel that they have some room for improvement. Which
they definitely do.
As much as I love Pokemon, I'll still be the first to critique it. I'm not going to outright blindly love everything they do. So
I think it's as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be.
We had the whole graphics discussion too earlier.
Yeah. I'll just say
I watched your video, Sean. It was a good video.
Thank you.
I saw some people mentioning
today's video, which everyone hated.
Rightfully so.
Pretty bad, actually.
I saw some people mention they should just hire more people, but I have a feeling MVG can attest to this. It's actually getting harder for these studios to find like mass amounts of developers now. From what I can understand, that's one of the reasons that the initiative had to partner with Crystal Dynamics is because it's like we're trying to hire people, but it's hard.
Yeah, you need that support studio or that ex-dev to come and help out. But the thing is, even that doesn't always alleviate the issue as well. Just throwing more bodies onto a project doesn't necessarily make things go smoother anyway, because you still have to ramp people up on the project, get them up to speed on what's going on. There's always some lead time involved with that as well. So it's a balancing act about it's all about chemistry and finding the right team, to get the job done. It's not necessarily about the numbers at the end of the day.
I do like the idea of them looking around at Monolith, for example, who has experience doing support for things like Breath of the Wild for the next Arceus or whatever they want to do, open world Pokemon. I don't mind
that joke about programming. They say more devs can't make a game faster necessarily, just the same way that 9 women can't give birth to a baby in 1 month. I've always liked that joke.
And this is from here you go. Wishbone says, would MVG join the Spartan console team, self-funded?
The what now?
The Spartan console. Let's go.
He has been so consistent with that. Wishbone has. This is going on years now.
It is. It actually is.
That's amazing.
They also put a little heart there too. What would y'all think about that?
I'm in.
If they pay you, fuck
it. Eric says, Pokemon has never been about graphics, it's always been about gameplay. As long as the game is good and plays well, that's all that really counts. And the frame rate. My gosh, we didn't even talk about the frame rate. I hope the frame rate's good.
Yeah.
It looks better. It
does look better.
What about the Pokedex? Are people going to complain about that this time?
Of course. Everyone's going to complain about everything.
No, but they have an excuse this time because we're in a certain region and it's in the past and there's
a little bit of an excuse.
Wait, hold on. Is that petition worthy, Jordan? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Go find me an N64 tree and we'll talk.
Yeah. Okay.
There will be N64 trees. I think that there will be some.
All right, write up the petition.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. This is from On a Ship. Says, Miss Click, been enjoying your Twitch streams of Halo Master Chief Collection. Please make sure to have someone play co-op with you if you do Legendary, as it's hard by yourself. And the flashbacks. Good luck with the rest of the games.
Oh yeah, people have been telling me the Legendary is rough.
It is. It is. And this is from Larry saying, achievement unlocked, Hot Wiener special reached 250 episodes. Congrats, Spawn Crew. Hot dog symbol.
Yes.
It's from Sad Brad, says, love all you guys and hope you're doing well. Dreamcast guy is looking super cute tonight.
I'm trying my best.
That's the face of NFTs for you.
Yeah, it's true. It's the face itself.
Joshua says, I'm a 26-year-old high school teacher talking to my students about Pokemon. I said my first game was Pokemon Red. They said their first was Sun. I feel so old.
You know what Michael Jordan said?
Oh gosh. This is from Joel saying, any love for PS2 007 games?
No,
I like Nightfire.
Nightfire.
Yeah.
Nightfire. I remember Agent Under Fire was cool because of the visuals. I was like, oh, this looks incredible. This is like next gen stuff right here. But then you played it and you're like, why are the controls so messed up?
Yeah.
But Nightfire was probably it. Yeah. This is from Dwan saying, how you doing tonight? I had a question about the brand new Ninja Turtle game.
Oh, Shredder's Revenge.
And made a game that same people who made Bayonetta game. Do you think the combat might be much?
So he's saying if Platinum made a Turtles game, how would it be?
Oh,
I think it would be good. I mean, you got the Transformers game that was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Platinum did make a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
Platinum did make a Ninja Turtles game.
They did make a Turtles game.
Like about current Platinum. Current Platinum.
Actually got
Weird
did
Platinum.
It get delisted? Wasn't it so bad that like got complaints and they unlisted it?
I think it did, but that was definitely like the C or E team or something like that. That was not Hideki Kamiya. They didn't put his name on there, or like Inaba or the guys that are like at the top of the top right now. But like a Ninja Turtles game would be dope. Like a Platinum game.
How they currently are.
Platinum really acts like bronze a lot of times these days.
Mutants in Manhattan. Well, I mean, to be fair, Platinum is a company that, I think they really have more misses than hits, but man, it's a conversation.
Yeah, they need you to pay for their next game, actually.
Yeah.
their next game is
they have the money, and it's offered to be funded by other companies, but they want you to pay for it.
The next game is Babylon's Fall. So what do we call Metacritic on that, guys?
Oh no. That's I'm saying low 70s on that thing.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it might be an 8.
Rip.
I think low 70s.
You want a 10?
I'm gonna go low mid 70s probably. I think the online is what's holding that one. Like the way that it's forced. Square Enix.
I think the game is what's holding that game back.
I'm going high 60s.
I don't know, man.
High 60s.
Ooh, okay.
65.
Okay.
It's like you look at Babylon's Fall, you're like, then Bayonetta's like, oh my god, yo, let's go. Like it's the same team. It's the same company.
You can tell they were really enthusiastic about working on one game versus the other.
The Fallen says you like Dragon's Dogma. That's my jam. Dragon's Dogma.
Yes. Good game.
Ruben says, besides Cyberpunk, what would you say were the biggest frauds in gaming? Mine is the Milo presentation on Connect. Watch Dogs presentation?
All the advertising for Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City was a fucking lie. They said this is basically like a first-person shooter version of Resident Evil 2. In fact, they literally said you can play through this and it's sort of like Resident Evil 2 with a different viewpoint. Fucking lies. It's absolute 100% lies.
It's got to be either maybe the original when they showed Killzone 2 off on the PS3 and it looked incredible. And then it came out and it did not look that good.
I mean, if we're talking about using a game to like show off stuff, it would probably be Deep Down, honestly. Like I was watching trailers from like the Japanese PlayStation release where that was shown heavily in there. It's like, this is why you want the PlayStation.
I'd still say Watch Dogs.
Yeah, Watch Dogs is probably the biggest one.
What about Aliens Colonial Marines?
Aliens Colonial Marines game
that was pretty bad, man.
Truly Epic says, Spawn, if will you disown your kids if they grow up preferring N64 over GameCube?
Say it. Say yes.
You thought about it.
They'll see the GameCube first, and then, I mean, how can you go to the 64 after that?
Indoctrination. Wow.
Easily.
I mean, the kids, one has a handle and one doesn't. That sells it right there. And one's purple.
Yeah, but
or bright orange. I have the bright orange one. I have the purple. I got platinum.
64 has the jungle green.
Yeah, that's tough.
I don't even know what side I'm on anymore. I'm in the middle.
This is from Geeky Gaming says, do you think 343 is even interested in a Halo 3 remaster? If so, when could it come out? Watching Click Streams made me think of this.
343 needs to do stuff for the game that they just released.
They need to fix the desync issues.
Yeah.
They do.
Fix the big team battle.
I'm glad I'm not big team
and your
battling
holiday
with any of you guys.
vacation that's been like a month. Fix the big team battle.
Yeah.
Stop adding in stickers and cat ears.
Big Team Battle's getting fixed this week, I think.
Put in some modes. Put in some maps.
Cat ears, baby.
Yeah, I'm so
They announced the new event. There's no event, I think, this week.
I don't care. What does it get me? A costume? Am I playing Barbie? Am I playing dress up, or am I playing Halo?
Not a new costume. A new shoulder pad.
The microtransactions are what sells, John. That's the money, okay?
Apparently they're not selling because they're lowering the prices on.
Yeah, look at the data mines, Sean. Somebody actually dug up. There's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of already done costumes. They're just gonna like slowly space them out. It's ridiculous.
You can see them even in the armory. A lot of stuff isn't even accessible yet.
That's not real. That's not real. That's why I ain't playing, man. They need give me like a co-op campaign, or give me like some new mode. Like give me something. Like this is just a bunch of
remake the pit from Halo 3.
I told you they should have delayed it until the game was ready, because it's not ready.
Yeah, it's still in beta.
More maps.
But what would
they didn't finish the campaign. So.
What would the harm be if it came out in March, sales wise? I think it'd still do really well.
They wouldn't have got that holiday rush.
I wouldn't be Onyx yet if it came out in March.
But that's the thing. Like the game is dead now. Like no one's playing Halo anymore. Like only Sean, John, and
people are playing it. I guess
are playing it.
There's no hype. There's no hype to bring more people in, right? Because like there's just. I watch people play it on Twitch, and it's just the same thing I've been watching. Now people have some colorful outfits on. It's like, nah, I'm good.
I honestly think the point wasn't to sell Halo. I think the point was to sell Xboxes. Like when you buy the Series X, it has Master Chief's big old shoulder pads like on the box. I think that they released it just to have more people buy the Xbox. And
I think
looking at the sales, it seems to have worked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It still ended up being the most popular shooter out of the holiday.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's this year.
Free to help.
And because it's free to play.
Battlefield. Where Battlefield was broken up against Call of Duty, which was going against a controversy, and people thought it was mid anyway.
Call of Duty was not very good at all. I played it, and it's just not good.
So, like, yeah, what else was really against Halo? Everyone
for me, it went Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty was like I think the worst out of the three that released on the holiday.
I didn't even pick up. This is the first time I think I skipped Battlefield.
Evan's rolling his eyes right now. He's like, "Where's my tranquilizer?"
Evan likes Battlefield the most, right? Out of all of them, right?
Yeah. They're still changing Battlefield stuff. So I like it. I'm not saying it's like, oh, it's perfect. No, it lot was broken, but like I just prefer that style of gameplay.
How do all three of these games having like all three of these games just did not impress?
Better on PC. It's not really broken. Is it still broken on PC? I thought it was
there's still functional problems on PC. They had a desync issue where if you got out of a vehicle, you couldn't shoot or like zoom in. Like there's just weird shit that was happening.
People in the chat are saying the game is still very popular. Yes, it is, but look at the player counts in the last 30 days for Halo.
All-time peak on Steam. All-time peak on Steam alone started 256,000. It's currently at 36,000.
Yeah, I made a video about this like a week and a half ago. You can watch it, and I showed not only that the player numbers are going off a cliff, but also the Twitch numbers. Like even the hype for Halo is already dead, and it's crazy that it's only been like a month and a half, and nobody cares at all.
It's going down. I mean, but I think once they get the new content, I think everything will be better. But yeah, man, it's just
it also is just kind of the climate we're in. We have so many new things happening, but also people have like mainstay games they revert to. But also, if all the content creators kind of get off or the streamers get off from it, they move on to something else. And
they went back to Sea of Thieves.
Yo, those numbers might get worse though, because this month, I mean, there's Horizon, there's Elden, there's gonna be a lot of single player games that people are playing and watching this upcoming month. You know, Pokemon's coming out soon, so that's gonna be a huge game. Diamond and Pearl, people who played that got crazy numbers if you played that on Twitch. You know,
people are still streaming it, just shiny hunting the beginning of the game with the 3 starters, and they have not played the rest of the game because they're still trying to get that shiny Pokemon.
I mean, Pro Jerry was like almost at a K, you know, at this point, and him, you know, he was playing Nuzlocke. Diamond
and he's banging everybody's wife and still managing to play that game. It's pretty good.
The A button abuse though, ridiculous.
We didn't have to go there.
I just keep pressing the A button, and that's all it is. That's my treadmill game. I play Pokemon on the treadmill. That's it, because it's just A.
How long are you on the treadmill for? Usually,
hour at a time.
Okay.
So I'm like 16 or 17 hours for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. I'm like at the end of it. I did the underground thing a while, and I was just walking around like, all right. That was like a whole treadmill session, was just walking around mining the little things out of the wall. So this is from, what was that? Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say that doesn't matter if you're not playing multiplayer for the most part.
This is from Zach saying, Shadow of the Colossus would make for a crazy VR experience. It would. That'd be really
I'm on
cool.
board for that.
The motion sickness alone.
I'm ready.
Can you imagine like defeating one of the clots and then jumping off in VR, like falling? That'd be crazy.
Because the way you're supposed to speedrun the dragon that flies around in the dune is you're supposed to let go of him and then fly backwards to grab the second one to climb back down.
I would probably get so motion sick though, to be honest, because it's like, especially when you're climbing, they're moving around. Like, I feel like I don't know how they do it.
Well, VR doesn't have to be first person.
The dog ones where when you grab them, they just slam into everything and just keep running.
I would spend full price on a Shadow of the Colossus PSVR experience. PSVR 2 experience.
I'm on board.
I would do that.
Or not.
That would be
great. Third person games. It almost feels like you're playing with toys in VR. And
I think I want to be able to see the clot right in front of me. Massive, ridiculous
that
enemy.
moment is great.
Yeah.
I'm all on board for that.
I want to see that. At the end, though, you're just like holding on,
Yeah. Oh, man. Cool. Because they have the sense control. So, like, they probably have it so, like, you actually have to grip them. They're like, oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Perp says, been playing Shadow Man and loving it. Looks great.
Great game. Check it out.
This is from Fish saying, RGT, which food delivery service won this week?
Oh, we got to talk about Grandma. So Grandma, when did she come over? She came over, what's today? Saturday? I guess it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And because she had just done her sister's hair. Her sister lives down the street from me. And she was like, oh, I didn't stop at the grocery store, but I brought you a ham sandwich. I'm like, all right, fine. And she's like, I got you some sausage and peppers. I'm like, that's cool. So I'm sitting there eating it, and we're talking. And like, I eat probably a fourth of the sandwich. And I look down on it, and I'm like, what are you doing? She was like, what? I was like, where did you get this bread? She's like, I took it out of the freezer. I was like, well, why are there green specks on this bread? There's no green specks on it. I was like, no, there are green specks on it. And so I showed her. I was like, you're trying to poison me? Is that how this is going down? She got so upset, and I was just laughing. So I called my mama. I was like, next time you talk to her, ask her about the poisoning. I mean, I still used the meat because the meat was fine. I just had some of the bread, and she was, So that'll be something I'll bother her for a while.
Khalil says, AVG, I cannot wait to play Shadow Man. Always started when I was a child on N64, but never went back to it because the atmosphere scared me.
It's a great game. Check it out.
This is from Lord of Mania Games saying, Clear Rockets, me too. I played the Steam version. Loved it so much that I bought the Xbox and PlayStation version. Plan to get the Switch version as well to support it. That's how much I love Shadow Man Remastered. Would love for it to get more love.
Yep, Switch is coming out on the 17th.
Jeffrey says, look at the comments in the latest G4 D&D episode on YouTube. They do D&D too.
That's one,
Interesting. 1K plus comments of men being angry and wanting G4 to fail because of her.
Let them be angry. I mean, weird thing, whatever.
This is from MTS saying, do you think Ubisoft will continue to port over Assassin's Creed games after the Ezio collection, or are the games left too much for the Switch? Games left. What do we got? Unity, Odyssey.
No. Unity's pretty powerful on graphics.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they might just leave it at that. What they've done.
Take them to the cloud.
They did Odyssey. That was already a cloud game on the Switch, right? They did that in Japan, I think. So
yes,
they could do that then technically. And then Yum says, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, Yum. Raison.
Happy birthday.
Tom says, G4 did produce Code Monkeys, a product of its time, but if it was produced now, it would be Adult Swim type material or Comedy Central, honestly. Remember Code Monkeys? Yeah. Flash says, we believe in generations, Jim Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Winky face.
That's going to come back and haunt him forever.
I mean, that was pre-COVID, though. So, pre-chip shortage, right?
Okay, they definitely wanted to move on. I think they wanted to move on from the PS4 already, and they got stuck.
Yeah. Well, so I have a question, right? So if they were flat out just leaving PS4 completely out of the equation now, would people also be upset because it's like no one can even find your PS5 console? Like, why are you abandoning the consumer?
That's kind of the issue.
People will always be upset no matter which path they choose.
that's literally like, I guess, part of the 10 commandments of the internet now at this point. But like, aren't we glad that they're still kind of supporting it and like giving people the chance?
Well, they would get the PS4? They would be producing PS. I think they'd still kind of, even though it says that they were going to leave it on, they produced the PS2 and the PS3 for a while, even after the new systems were out. They just didn't make cross-gen games. They made games specifically for it. Like Gran Turismo 6 came out on the PS3 after the PS4 launched. They just released it. They didn't make a cross-gen or anything. Then they went on to work on like Gran Turismo Sport and all of this. So I think that is the holdup right now, is that they are spending a lot of time on cross-gen, where people want Sony's really talented studios and those big budgets just to go straight PS5 to take advantage of the new hardware.
Okay, chat's saying it wasn't pre-COVID. When did he say that then?
What's that? The generation? He said that was the first time we saw the PS5.
So
that was
last
like early. Was it last year?
That was 2019. That was 2020. Yeah. Because that's when they also had the press release that went out about the $70 games. That was a big thing. And that was just one of the quotes that was getting thrown around.
Is that when people were saying that this whole thing was going to be like over by June?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the point, right? Like when COVID hit, no one really thought, I mean, none of us would predict what was going to happen as far as shortages and stuff, right? Like
the chip shortage,
like the industry is feeling the effects of COVID, you know, like 12 months after all that really started. So I mean, like I said, I feel like he believed what he was saying at the time. I don't think he's lying. I just think that, you know, the message has changed, you know, due to these circumstances that are unprecedented.
Rolling with the punches, like you said.
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, in June 2020.
Here's my issue is they said they believed in generations, but like Horizon was being worked on the PS4 and God of War were being worked on the PS4 at that time. Gran Turismo, though, I don't know, because they showed that advertisement and just said PS5 on it, no PS4. So that seems weird to me.
Look, I'm not defending Sony's marketing around how they've handled this.
Trying to get a job there.
I'm
trying to get that word.
Why would I? Anyway, no, I don't defend some, like the marketing has been really, really bad in some ways. Yeah. And they do need to do a better job with that. And I think they acknowledge that.
I feel like they really wanted to hammer that home because of what Microsoft was doing at the time. And I think that was just like another, like, they were just like, yeah, we're going to get them right here with this. And they're like, oh yeah, it's also on the PS4. Okay. Don't make a big deal about it. But I think they're ready to stop manufacturing PS4s if it freed up manufacturing for PS5. It's just there's nothing there to build them with. So never mind. Might as well sell the PS4. So that's from Josh saying this generation feels weird. It's almost like it hasn't started yet. I feel like in the past it was always definitive, but now it's kind of just like a hardware boost of the previous platform.
Not wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin says, with games like Dead Space, Splinter Cell, do you think this is a trend for reviving franchises and building off of them for future games? I mean, we've always kind of done that, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna depend on what they do. Because like I would like
around for a while now, right?
What's that? Just doing that, reviving.
Yeah, just reviving franchises and games. Yeah.
Not Prince of Persia though.
Right. We never got a fourth Spyro, did we?
Hey man, it's coming. All right. Jeez.
Give them some time. Give them some time to develop.
Speed, which Astoria says, bring back Jade Empire.
Yes.
Bring it back.
I'm okay with that. Taco says, shout out to Genshin Impact to continue being the amazing game I can't recommend due to its monetization.
I watch Evan play it all the time. It looks cool.
Yeah, Evan enjoys it.
True.
Yeah.
Story's always super sad. So yeah.
That's why you love it.
depression.
It's fantastic.
Sean says, RGT, have you tried Taco Bell Buffalo Wings?
Not yet.
That's a thing?
Yeah,
they were only around for a week though.
They gave up on tacos?
So they took away the little chicken quesadilla on the dollar and they gave us wings.
Yeah, but I think the Mexican pizza's coming back, so that's all that really matters.
Those were those. Did you guys like those? I never thought that they were that great.
I loved them.
Oh, okay.
Sponsor this man.
This is from Georgie saying MVG took an L with Perfect Dark according to VGC.
I get fucked, MVG.
What happened? What happened?
What is he talking about?
Sean was ready. Jeez.
Your L plus ratio?
What happened?
I don't know.
I have no idea what.
I don't know either.
Let's see here.
The L.
Perfect Dark.
RGT is always so ready to pounce on MBG. If there's any opportunity to say he's wrong on something, RGT will just like, hey, you, F you, hey, you big fat phony.
Okay, Video Games Chronicle hasn't talked about it in 2 months, so I don't know what this person is referring
Jeff
to.
Grubb says 20 to say happy 5th birthday to, I'm going to say Emmeline.
His daughter. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I just want to make sure I pronounce that right, because I'm looking at him like, I hope I pronounce this right, because this is a birthday message.
Hope you have a good birthday. Sorry your dad lied about Starfield.
Break out the GameCube. Have a great time.
Happy birthday, your dad's a liar.
Oh no.
I'm just waiting for him to elbow drop Game Over Greggy, man. I'm just waiting for that those guys be dueling, man. So I'm just waiting for the elbow drop to come.
Happy 5th birthday to Emmeline.
Happy birthday.
Creo says, hey guys, did any of you check out the shadow drop of Capcom SNK card battle? I downloaded it. I'm going to play it. Don't worry. Capcom SNK card battle Clash earlier this week. Good nostalgia game. Yes, that is. I got really excited when I saw it get dropped. I already bought it, downloaded it. It's cheap. I'm going to be playing it. It's a fun card game. Okay, no one else jump about it. That's fine.
Nope. Card game.
No one else jump out of your seats. Don't worry. I'll move on. Thomas says, with Nintendo remastering Metroid Prime, do you guys think they'll remaster 2 or 3 also, or are people going to jump straight from 1 to 4? That's the weird one, because I feel like they should do 2 and 3 as well.
Because isn't it 1, 2, and 3 is the whole package of a single story, and 4 is just going to be something else? Is the plan?
I mean, we assume 4 is going to continue the story, but
some sort of lore, even if it's not directly.
I still think you got to get 2 and 3 on here somehow for people to experience it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe they don't remaster them and they bring them over, like either a port or on the service. Like,
they're just gonna leave them, just like they with Metroid Dread. They didn't do nothing. They just gave a little recap at the beginning of the game. This is what happened in all the other ones, and bam, you get right into Dread. They're gonna do the same thing.
They have a disclaimer on their website though on how to experience their older legacy titles though.
They did promote them on Twitter a lot.
You got to go visit your pawn shop.
Go visit the old shop and get them.
Go to the old pawn shop.
It would help justify that $60.
Is it not a link to dolphin.com?
yeah.
It would just help sell and justify the $60 price tag for them to have put the work in doing work on 1 and then just throwing 2 and 3
in there
as they are, because that doesn't require them to do too much.
They have MVG. They got the emulator for a GameCube game. Did they have that?
Yeah, because I mean, Sunshine's running, right?
So like 2, they could throw that 2 on there, but the problem is 3 with those motion controls.
You can do motion controls on the Switch.
I think 2 is almost assured. 3 is the one that I struggle with, because like how are they going to figure that out? Because
they did it with Skyward Sword.
I mean, they'll come up with something, but like obviously there's work that needs to be done there, right? Sure. So, but yeah, they got the GameCube emulator, so there's no reason why we couldn't see that.
No more excuses, Nintendo.
Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, all on the same one.
That'd be pretty like the trilogy, but 1 is like really cleaned up and remastered. Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
It's Metroid Prime. It's remastered. Plus, you get 2 and 3. Like that's how they
pick that up. I'd pick that up.
Yeah.
Smoke says MVG Switch games on series consoles via RetroArch.
Maybe. I mean, it's powerful enough, I think, to run Switch games. We'll see. We may see it one day. But I don't think anyone's wants to do it right now, because obviously there's legal implications of that. So I don't think we'll see that for a few years. But
we have a few more to go through here, and I'll double check Streamlabs as well. I mean, we have any Discord questions left?
Yeah, we still got 2. Switch lineup for 2022 looks pretty strong. Do you think it'll move past the PS4 and lifetime sales this year?
Oh, this year I'm gonna say yes, because I think they'll produce enough to do it. I think they'll just get there though, because the PS4 is still gonna sell another million. But the Switch is going to be supply constrained.
Given the amount of software we're getting this year on the Switch and some big heavy hitters potentially, then I would say yes, it's happening this year.
Yep, I think so. Provided they can get the hardware out there and Switch is built, yes, I think they will sell easily north of 20 million, no problem, if they can get the hardware out there.
All right, and last one's kind of longish. Predict the order of release: the new Mass Effect game, Perfect Dark, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4.
Wait, pick which one comes out first, you said?
In series, which one do you think will come out first, and then I guess after the fact?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Last.
I think that's a good question for John and only John.
Okay, so
you have the new Mass Effect, Perfect Dark, the next Final Fantasy VII remake part, Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4.
Mario Kart 9 is first.
I'm gonna go Metroid Prime 4, Mario Kart 9. Because I think Mario Kart 9 is a cross-gen game. Then Perfect Dark's like at the end with Mass Effect, I think.
What about Final Fantasy VII?
And the next Final Fantasy is like 3 years
later.
later.
Far the last.
I think Final Fantasy VII Part 2 is, I think that's 2024.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's like April or March. Oh, you think that's 2020? What?
25?
They said in the interview
26.
it would take less time to make this one than the last
I'm
one.
gonna say 37.
That's kind of the order I'd go, though.
We'll all be dead. It'll be out. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
About time.
I'll be dead.
Is that is that all the Discord question 7?
Yep, that's it.
Let's go around here. Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85 with a video today that nobody liked. Tomorrow's video has me talking throughout the entire thing. Shout outs to my new Twitter friend who's up in my DMs, Chuck D, Public Enemy. That's what's up.
D's in the what? For
Yeah,
real?
Chuck D's talking about.
Whoa, let's go, man.
He's a Retro
I like
Gaming
that.
Tube 85 fan.
No, we might be doing something for one of his buddy stores. Some little
Really? Can I say just a real quick story with that Public Enemy? Just real quick. When I was in college, okay, so we had all these hardcore black dudes from like North Carolina and from like South Carolina and all that. Okay, and I'm driving them all home after football practice. And yo, I turn on the CD and it's like, let's roll, what a brother no. And they all start laughing at me and say, oh, what's this man watching? Some of this more hardcore stuff, man. This is. And I'm just like, I like it. Anyway, that's the story.
I love Public Enemy. They're awesome.
Okay, where can everyone find you?
They said that I listen to the dad rap. That's what they call it. They say, why you listen to something my daddy be watching it back in 1980? So I'm like, bro, I like it. Anyway, shout out to Chuck D. You can find me right here hanging out with Chuck D and RGT. Let's go. No, you can find me right here on YouTube. I got a really cool video tomorrow, so make sure you guys check it out. It's awesome. So yeah, tomorrow it'll be there. So just subscribe, Player Essence. Cool video. I live stream daily too. 6 days out of the week. And I got new videos, RPG, Nintendo content. So yeah, check it out. Player Essence. Thank you guys. Appreciate the support.
Radberry says I took my PS4 Pro to my local GameStop and they gave me $400 in store credit. Haven't had to purchase a new game since October thanks to it.
Jesus.
Wow, I basically returned it then.
Yep.
Right?
Jeez. Wow, pretty good. Flash Gordon says Jim Ryan equals Todd Howard minus it just works. Irvin says looking for a good online multiplayer game for the Switch to play with my wife, not Smash or Mario Kart. Good online multiplayer. I mean, Animal Crossing.
He wants to play with his wife?
Want some
Yeah, I'm
competitiveness,
guessing.
not
Is he
Animal Crossing.
Would it be
What
like
about-
co-op, like 2 people playing online at the
Yeah,
same
like
time?
It Takes Two.
Yeah.
It Takes Two is a good one.
Is that
That's a good one. Yeah, it takes 2. But
I don't think
I look
it's
for a
on
multiplayer game on the Switch.
That's
for the
not on
Switch.
Switch.
I think Mario Golf is 2-player, same screen.
But it
You can do
sucks.
Mario
Yeah.
Golf online. You can do Mario
3D World, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah,
3D World.
Yeah,
Yep.
3D World is
Smooth.
great.
3D World's
Yeah.
very good. Yeah,
Yeah, 3D World's super good.
Yeah, if you're not
Maybe
into computers,
Kirby?
it would be fun.
we'll see.
Kirby.
Mario
Okay.
Party, although Mario
Clubhouse?
Party can get you into trouble.
Clubhouse.
Mario Party's super good. Like that Mario Party's super good though.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
really good.
That could end some friendships and potentially
Yeah.
some marriages.
Yeah, that's true.
Hold on,
true.
keep an eye on Kirby though, because that might have some online co-op. We'll see. They shut off some co-op stuff, so you never know. I could have it.
Hmm.
Miss Click, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming. Excited. The clips for Halo will be out on Monday. Very excited. I'm rolling out 2 new channels this week too. So if a lot of people have been asking, hey, can we see your playthroughs on YouTube versus having to go to Twitch? There will be an archives channel now for you, so you'll be able to go back and watch those videos on playlist, and then there'll also be a separate shorts channel. So for those of you who like the shorts, you can just sub to that separate channel. So I'll link those in chat for you. But other
Cool.
than that, you can just find me as Miss Click Gaming, and then we'll be starting Halo 3 on Monday on my Twitch, and that'll
Nice.
be a lot of fun.
Make sure you watch the trailer they put in the Super Bowl first.
I will watch it. I promise.
This is from Fish Fan. Says RGT, can we get an episode of Who TF is featuring Grandma? We all want to meet the woman behind the bread and other various goodies.
I would love to, but there's way too many fucking weirdos on the internet.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem.
Unfortunately, probably not.
Look, hey man, if you don't want that, stop having such a bangable grandma. Like, we don't want to wax that ass. We have to.
On a ship says the cast. Should I keep holding out on getting Xbox Series X or finally giving into scalpers and get the Master Chief limited edition on eBay? Appreciate it. The Master Chief limited edition looks pretty good.
Go in on the scalpers, baby. Get what you want. Life is short.
I think if you follow Jake Randall, you'll
no, chaos is coming. Chaos is coming with Final Fantasy. Chaos is coming. Buy in. You get one life. Do it, baby. Get one life. Just buy it. Look, just hold off on all the gumbo and all the junk you probably buy outside of that, and it'll easily make up for the $400 or whatever people buy, all the junk food or whatever people are buying candy. So we just hold off on all that and just put that towards the scalped Xbox. Okay, if you can't find one from Jake Randall, and then just like, you know, save up for the others. Just get the other stuff out of the life. And there you go. Now you're healthier and you got an Xbox.
Vanessa says, congratulations for your 250th episode. Everyone here is amazing. Thank you all. And thank you to the wonderful community here. Next up, 300. MVG, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube at Modern Vintage Gamer. I have a Monday video coming out, and Nate and I will be recording an episode next week. So check out the channel. Thanks for having me on.
What about Max?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. I actually have a video going up tomorrow. I kept seeing this review going around where somebody played God of War on PC, and they just wrote a whole article about how Kratos is such a bad dad. So I read that article. So that's my video tomorrow, is reading this article where she's like, he's such a cold, unloving father. It's a very funny video. That's going
so the game did its job.
Yeah, no, it's so she clearly just did not get it.
IGN. Everybody started roasting IGN when I put
it. Brian was where's this from?
I didn't put the site because you're always targeting people. You're trying to send hate. I didn't want to send any hate. I just put what?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And then it was like, well, you should have thought about that before you put it up. I'm like, dude, shut up. I just put it up there. I said, what?
It was a pretty close infringement on their
It was, but I'm not trying to target. I don't want people to. I didn't want to send hate to that person or anything. So I just didn't put it up.
I tagged the article in my quote tweet of them because
and that's how I found it. Is y'all retweeting it? And
Sean's getting brave on Twitter.
I had to laugh at it. It's such a funny video.
Sean can do things I can't do, man. I can just say that right now. Sean can do a bunch of stuff.
I got Chuck D behind me. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, must be nice.
Check mark. So
Jordan, what about you? Where can I find you?
You can find me on Jordan Fringe. Got some more content ramping up as we go through the year, working on a lot of stuff. I think we hit like 211 today in subscribers, so I appreciate the support. Got some cool things in the works coming soon, so thank you very much.
Liam asks, is the removal of credit card support for 3DS, Wii U on this 22nd just for Japan and Europe, or is it everywhere? There have been conflicting reports on whether the US is affected that day, and I want to know whether to add funds now or if I can wait.
I don't think it's US, right?
I don't know. I'll find out.
I'd have to double check before I say one way or the other. But if it's the US as well, I'll throw it into like a quick point in Newswave just so people are aware. I will do that on Monday. If that is the case, I'll look into it tomorrow. This is from Jairi saying, thanks for talking languages and video games. Jeff says, my old laptop died at the start of the year. I got a Lenovo Idea Gamepad Gaming with a Ryzen 5 6-core 12-thread and RTX 3050 and added 16 gigabytes DDR4 3200 myself for under 700. Not the absolute best, but plays better than an Xbox One VCR. That is true. It would do that then. Juiceman Vaughn says, so I was looking at the credits of New Horizons today and say that Monolith Soft helped develop the game. They're certainly a diverse company.
They did help out with Animal Crossing as well.
And I think I got everything here. Yes. And then Evan, where can everyone find you?
I'm on Twitter at Kimrex Project. Whenever I'm going to go streaming or if anything's going on, I'll post up there. This week we'll probably hit up Windjammers 2 and I'll bust out the mix box that I got over there for it. Check it out.
Windjammers 2. Let's go.
We should jump online, Evan.
There you go.
Down.
Get on a stream. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it here for Spawncast episode 250. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. See you then.
Think for yourself.